It's Friday, July 18th, 2025. Okay, let's start off by telling everybody if they'd like to support our show, they can do so by going to supportourshow.com, where you will see support options arrayed there. I think we gained another Patreon member, so thank you very much, whoever that is. I don't look at names. We did. I think it's
like a paid one.
No, I think it's a free one. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
I really don't care because
listen. I'm stupefied either way.
No, me too. But it is really going to become, I think, the central repository for the unfiltered version of everything. Because, like I said, it's the only place I can post everything so far and never have to worry about it. So I don't gate anything behind the paid tier. So you get everything for free. Feel free to pay money if you'd like. We certainly would appreciate it. Because, Zoom ain't free. Skype was. But the free stuff is all the same stuff everybody else is seeing. So, yeah, that's where all the videos are going that don't have any filtration on them, which is better, I think. Especially because there's going to be some stuff coming up that I'm sure would get destroyed by YouTube. So there's that. Is there anything special? The dev series has started. That's going to be 4 parts. I was asked that, so I will answer that generally on the show because I got a message separately on it. But that's going to be 4 parts as it's an 8-part miniseries. So each episode covers 2 parts. So 2. And we did try to keep those relatively shorter. So I don't think any of those is much past 2 hours. I'm pretty sure most of them are less. Just because the Star Trek ones did go on a bit, which is fine, but I understand that some people actually have to work and have people that they have to attend to and not just sit in front of YouTube for 17 hours or whatever. So they're a little bit on the shorter side. Anything else show notes wise? I don't think so. Nothing that's... Why do I feel like there's something I'm forgetting? Oh, Ozone may get you 2 months free on Libsyn. I don't know. Roll the dice on that one. And yeah, I think that's...
Well, you saw that Twisted Metal got a 2nd season.
Yeah, they did say that. Whether we'll get a 3rd or not, I'm curious. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed season 1.
I know you did. That's why when I saw the ad for it that they were doing another season, I was like, wow.
Right.
I didn't think they were going to get one.
It did fairly well for a Peacock series. I think if it had been on Netflix or Apple, maybe not, because I don't know if it would command the numbers they want. But Peacock is still, I would think, considered a C-tier streaming service. And so I think their requirements are far less. Also, it is honestly a show that you can do on a fairly modest budget because Twisted Metal doesn't demand much.
It's very Mad Max.
Yeah, I mean, it's cars, and it doesn't have to be a complete wasteland. It can be just kind of a rundown area, so you can go film in cheap places. Yeah, the cars are really just normal cars. Probably the most they have to spend anything on is the CG for the flaming clown head. And, I'm sure they're doing CG blood and explosions. But outside of that, it's all just practical stuff. Although that Axle vehicle, I will be very curious how they're doing that because that was the one thing I was sure they wouldn't do because it's so ridiculous. He has to have a shield.
Which one's that?
He's the guy who's literally got his arm stuck into two giant tires.
Oh, I think I saw an image of that.
Yeah, it's the most, well, it's from the game, but it's the most
Yeah.
impractical and ridiculous. Even in the games, it makes no sense that a guy's just riding around with two giant tires. So that's the only other thing where I'm like, well, they must have some kind of rig that they're CGing out for that. I mean, it could be a green painted go-kart for all I know. It's probably not a massive thing, but I'm sitting here going, yeah, you can make this show pretty cheaply because you need a couple stunt drivers. And you need a big open space, and then you just take beater cars that don't have to look polished or fancy. They're not Lamborghinis. You don't have to make them look good, or they don't have to stay looking good. Every vehicle from the game that I remember is a fairly generic, not generic, but not a high-end car. It's not like Gran Turismo, where people are expecting supercars. Mm-hmm. This is basically just everyday cars that are pretty beat up and just have, machine guns attached to them for the most part, or an ice cream truck, or a motorcycle, but nothing, a hearse. Or the two giant tires was probably the thing they actually had to build. Because I don't know that there's many rigs that exist for a person to be between two giant monster truck tires in normal life. I don't know. Maybe there is. But that's the most they'd have to do. All the other cars are standard vehicles that are not even high-end vehicles. So I'm not surprised because it's Peacock. Like I said, if it had been Max or Netflix or Apple, more difficult to say. I think that in some ways, this is sort of the temporary benefit if these services survive. It's kind of like when Showtime had Odyssey 5. That's not a show that ever would have gotten on to like HBO in the main line, but they experimented with things when they were just trying to stay alive. Mm-hmm. So, and the property does have, I watched it just based on the name recognition because I'm just sitting here going, yeah, I never would have expected a Twisted Metal series. And now the first one was fairly tame. Now they're really going crazy because they're bringing all the game elements in that weren't in the first one. Because the first one was really, honestly,
you into it.
Like
it was wading in.
But not only that, but Calypso wasn't really in the first one. They name checked him here and there. A lot of the kind of more flamboyant vehicles were not there. You never saw them. It was really Sweet Tooth. And I don't think Anthony Mackie's character is even anybody. I think he's just a new one. I don't even know if he's supposed to be an established character.
I think he's the audience.
Well, that's what I mean. And so now they're putting all the characters you would recognize. The trick there is, are you going to kill them all off? Because everybody has a favorite except for, I don't know, Axel. I'm sure somebody likes Axel, but he was never that great a character to play that I remember. It's a guy between two tires. Wasn't exactly thrilling. As opposed to, like, Mr. Grimm is fun. The other ones, Dollface. If you played Twisted Metal Black, there was a whole bunch of like cinematics that went with that. So I'm going to be curious how these characters survive or don't. And then I don't know if it'll go past season 2. They could do what would be really interesting actually is, and I've seen nothing indicating this, but it would have been something they could have done. Like, Netflix played around with this idea that you kind of pick the events that happened. So it would have been interesting if they had let you pick who won the tournament for the end of the series.
Oh, weird.
And then they did a cinematic for each one. Well, that's what the game is. The game has different people win. So you could do it. It would be a little tricky because, nobody's going to kill Anthony Mackie. But he could always get away with the girl in every version. Like, he always gets the happy ending. And then one of the other characters wins, and then Calypso gives them, like, the trick ending. And, because famously, if you've never seen them, look up the original Twisted Metal 1 cinematics that I don't think they even put in the game. They are unbelievable because they're so low budget, but so earnest and sincere that they are adorable in their just flaming train wrecks. They're great. I'll put a link to them. They're on YouTube, but I mean, just Looney Tunes. So, yeah, I'm happy it came back. I like the first one.
Excited for you when I saw that they had.
Yeah, I like Anthony Mackie. I thought he was good in the first series. I thought the first series was probably a very good example of we're not sure if we can go full insanity on this property. So how do we ease people into it and see if there's an interest? But we have to include at least one recognizable character, in which in this case was Sweet Tooth, which made sense. And they made Sweet Tooth an actual character in a way that I really wasn't sure they could.
Yeah, you said that.
Because they don't really do much in the game with him. He's just a lunatic that has a clown mask. and is supernatural depending on which one you play. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
I
I'm
had
looking forward to
a funny event happen to me recently that I wanted to share with you because it was, I think, indicative of some of the problems we're having as a culture.
some.
Yeah. So I was driving home the other day. I was driving back from a place, so this wasn't near my house. There are parts of Jersey that can get a little bit red, right? And where I live, there's a lot of no king rallies. Like
Okay, just to be clear, for those who may not be in the U.S. or may not know what you mean is conservative right wing. When you
red,
say
yes,
red,
yes,
not
red
communist.
means yeah, no, yeah, red means conservative, conservative,
Okay. Just making sure, because different
yeah.
areas, different cultures may take red to
Conservative
mean
Republican, yeah,
something
yeah,
else. There you
yeah.
go.
So like Jersey is considered a purple state because it's got blue areas and red areas. Blue being the Democrats and red being the Republicans. And there was a Republican, I guess, rally on the side of the street where they were waving signs. Like, you know what I love too is they were waving signs like they hadn't won the election. I think it's one of the things I admire about the Republicans is that even when they're running everything, they act like they're the victims. Like, they're after us, man. They're coming for us.
Yeah.
They're coming for our rights. It's like, you run everything. Nobody's coming for your rights. You're coming for everybody else. But anyway.
Yeah.
But somebody had a sign that said...
That's why, as an aside, look into the civil war within the party on the Epstein stuff. Oh, it's hilarious. Anyway, go on.
Somebody had a sign that said, I won't let socialism come from my Medicare.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted. You know what? You shouldn't, sir. I assume this was a man.
This was a man, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like,
Good
what?
for you, man.
And you know when you drive by something and you do a double take because you're like, what the fuck was that? Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, but, and I realized it's indicative of this kind of larger miseducation of the population, where it's because I'm not one of these. I don't believe that absolute communism or absolute socialism or any absolute is wrong, and we're living in a very absolute capitalist society. The things that help it are that we have little elements of socialism to help people. What you need to have is limited government of any kind, limited capitalism, limited socialism. You need to take the best elements and kind of put them together. But we just live in such an age of extremism that you get these signs where someone doesn't realize that they're damning the very thing that gave them the thing that they want to keep. And it's and instead they all fall back on this huge victim mentality where it's like now they're all pissed off about Superman because everyone's like, Superman's not an immigrant. Did you see the thing at Dean? Was it Dean Cain who said it? It was like,
yes,
Superman's
it was
not an
Dean
immigrant.
Cain.
He's an orphan, and you're like, motherfucker, he's both. Yes, he's an orphan and he's an immigrant.
No. But you know what? I didn't realize this.
Yeah.
There is actually something to what he's saying. I did not realize. And I found this out in the strangest way possible, which is through a YouTube video kind of lampooning these people, that in fact, when John Byrne rebooted Superman, he was against the idea of him being an immigrant, so he retconned his origin. Now, I never read the Byrne redo of Superman. I've always gone by the classic version, so I didn't know this was changed.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah.
No. Do you know what? So what he did was,
I don't know the Byrne run,
everything is the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything is the same except, and I'm not quite sure on the mechanics of this, but I did see that this is verified. Superman is not technically born until the pod hits Earth. Therefore,
what?
Yes.
Oh my God! What dumb shit is that? But he's still an orphan. How he doesn't? He's
orphan, yes, but not immigrant. They're more hung up on the immigrant
because he has what do they call that? Birthright citizenship.
That's right.
Aren't the Republicans getting rid of that?
Only if your skin is dark. Let's see.
Here
it is.
So, oh man, see, I think that's dumb. I've never even heard of that. Well, technically.
I didn't know that he had retconned it that much. I knew he had kind of changed some things, but I didn't realize that had changed.
Listen, Superman's parents are dead, and he was sent to Earth to save him.
So apparently, that was one of the many changes. I guess before the Byrne version, other Kryptonians had survived. They changed that to make him the only one who survived. I mean, they really did make him into a Christ figure more than anything. So yeah.
Yeah, so they're all angry that James Gunn has gone for the immigrant. The funny thing is, he hasn't even really. It's not like the whole movie's about Superman the immigrant. He was like an off comment he made that it's also an immigrant story, because it's like, yeah, he's from another world. He came here. He was adopted by good old American parents, and he was raised not to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's like. Yeah, and the thing is, I've read some reviews of the movie that were done by people that whose reviews I have trusted, and they said, listen, it's not perfect, but it's good, it's colorful, it's fun. They're like, the first half is more bold than the second half. The second half kind of descends into like a superhero, slugfest. But it's good, and it was interesting because this question popped up about people this always comes up, who's the best Superman, right?
Right.
And of course what my answer is, right?
Well, same as my answer, I'm sure.
It's Christopher Reeve, right?
Of course.
And somebody posted this scene. So if you haven't seen this clip, this is the reason that Christopher Reeve is the best Superman. There's this clip you can find it very easily on YouTube. It's in Superman 2, and it's when Lois Lane has just tried to throw herself over Niagara Falls, and Superman saved her, right? And they go back to the room, and Lois, is I think she was trying to prove whether Clark Kent was Superman or something like that. I can't remember the exact details of it, but essentially they go in, and she's gonna freshen up so they can go out for dinner. And she goes into like the bathroom, and in that moment, the camera stays on Clark Kent. And in that moment, he's debating whether or not to tell her who he really is. And he takes the glasses off, and in this moment, he goes from being Clark Kent to Superman. And it's not just taking off the glasses; it's like his entire fucking aura changes. Suddenly, he's standing taller, and he's much more upright, and like his jaw, it's like his jaw changes, right? And he uses the Superman voice, and he says, Lois, I have to tell you something. And then she's like, what did you say? And then in that moment, you see it on his face, he goes, now. He's like, you know what, now's not the time. And he kind of wilts back into Clark Kent, and he puts his glasses on, and he kind of stoops over a little bit, and his voice kind of like, gets a little higher pitch. And it's this amazing moment where you're like, yeah, he didn't need the suit to be Superman. He understood the balance between how Superman basically hid as Clark Kent, other than the fact that, didn't we read at one point that essentially he was like psychically obfuscating himself or something like that?
Yeah, there's been, again, this is a character that's now almost 100 years old. And
I know, but either way, that
things.
moment with Christopher Reeve, you're like, Jesus Christ, this guy could act. This guy was amazing. And so I still think he's one of the best. The funny thing is, I think Henry Cavill was actually a really great Superman. He's kind of grown on me. I still hate Man of Steel, and I hate all the movies that he did, but I like him. Isn't that terrible? And I think
you and I have said this same thing multiple times.
Like Cavill,
Cavill's good. It's this. The problem is he was put into a horrible film that did not care what Superman was. That wanted to just do the same thing that Zack Snyder always does.
And I can't put Brandon Routh really on the list because Brandon Routh is doing Christopher Reeve. His entire performance is I want to be Christopher Reeve. And that's fine. He does a really good job of being Christopher Reeve. But it's not really a new take. It's you trying to just, And I never watched the latest one that came out of Supergirl. Like
one that came out of
Supergirl. He started off as like sometimes showing up in Supergirl on the CW.
Oh, you mean the TV series? Oh no, that guy was great.
And then he eventually
got
his own show.
It was very good. They really played up that Supergirl and Superman are not the same except for their gender differences, which I think was the best thing they did was they showed that each of them had different strengths. They had a lot of respect for each other. Each of them had a different thing that made them special. And they understood that was, that they were the best working together, and it was great. It was that guy, I can't remember his name, Tyler Hochul, maybe, something like that. Very good, looked great, acted very well, he captured all of it. And then the woman who played Supergirl already was doing the Christopher Reeve thing, so the two of them together were sensationally good. It was great. I have zero complaints about that. The stupidest part of the show is when they were just showing his boots because they didn't have the rights to use them yet. That was just dumb.
Oh yeah, I was never a huge fan of Dean Cain. They did a really. So is it me or did he have like a weird like plunging neckline on his suit? Hold on one second.
No, did you actually watch the show or no?
Lois and Clark, yeah, I watched a few of those. Yeah,
I mean, it was very clear. Yes, they wanted to show the top of his chest. Ironically, they were giving him man cleavage, so it's definitely the case. Yes.
Yeah. Strangely, it's kind of a weird.
Yeah, it's very odd because it's very clearly intentionally done to show the top of his pecs.
Yeah, because it's got like it really comes down.
It's odd. I guess they wanted to throw a little something for the ladies. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it is. It's man cleavage. I don't know what else it is. I don't know what the. I don't know if there is a word for that. For
I don't think he was. I guess the thing is, there's none of these Supermans I think have been like bad. Like I don't look at them and go, he was the bad. But of a group of good Supermans, I think he was the least good.
He was the most spectacular.
Yeah, there you go, spectacular. And I don't really. And the Smallville guy never even got in the costume. Did he ever get in the costume?
They dragged that out. Yeah, the last season they finally did. They dragged that out too long.
Mistake. Yeah,
it was. Lois and Clark was more about the characters, not Superman. He was there, but they really wanted to make it about the two of them, which I don't think is bad. I remember the show being fine. It was.
Oh, and that's a shame because the Smallville guy looked great in the costume.
He did, yeah. They had him in, like, he would just be. They called him the Blur, and he would just kind of warp around in the background. It was so stupid. And yeah, they waited till the last season when they brought the Justice League in, their society or whatever. They had all those people. They went full comic book, but they waited till the 9th or 10th year or whatever it was.
Yeah, he was wearing he was wearing that red jacket for a while too, wasn't he?
Yeah, which is, they were kind of doing the Superboy thing. Yeah, which is all fine at first, but you've got to get past that. But yeah, Lois and Clark, at the time it was trying to do something different. I think it was interesting. I've never had the desire to go back and rewatch it. I remember watching it off and on when it was on and being like, okay, this is interesting. Because
I'm glad that Superman's around, but it just wasn't my kind of Superman.
Well, and the other thing, too, is I do think it was an interesting and somewhat ballsy idea to try to do something other than just showing Superman flying around punching things. They wanted to get into, well, what does he do when this is not what his life is? And I think and Lois Lane has often been shortchanged, or was. They handle her better now, but she was often just the kind of damsel in distress.
Actually, my wife asked me, she was like, you guys talk so much about the best Superman. She goes, who do you think the best Lois Lane was?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
And the thing was, I don't think it's Margot Kidder.
Who do you think it is?
Well, I don't know, because the thing is, I guess I thought it would be, but then when I sat down and really thought about it, I don't know who
I'd pick on. Having not seen the new one. Let's preface that I've not seen the new one.
Don't think. I don't think she's the best. And I don't know, but I don't know who of them is the best because I didn't watch. I haven't watched enough of the TV. Because I just didn't watch a lot of the Superman shows.
No, the one on the TV version. It's interesting to because I did. So I'm thinking about the one that was on TV. The problem with the TV version.
Yeah.
It's close. Let's put it this way: it's close.
Yeah.
But what Margot Kidder did have is at no point her air of confidence is really good. There's no point where I didn't feel like, this is the smartest person in the room, man, woman, as far as this reporting office and the person who's got the most brains. She's so far ahead of everybody that's the thing that I think works so much about Margot Kidder is all the other, like Amy Adams is just there to be pretty. I'm sorry, the woman's a good actress, but they wasted her. The TV
that's the new one, yeah. And you know what's actually kind of weird?
One.
Kate. Yeah. So when they did Superman Returns, my biggest issue with the woman Kate Bosworth playing Lois Lane, is that she was way too fucking young, and yet she was also kind of channeling Margot Kidder. And in a funny way,
they all were trying to be a sequel to the Donner ones. That was the whole goal.
In a weird way, I like Kate Bosworth channeling Margot Kidder more than I liked Margot Kidder.
Well, there you and I differ. I don't think she was. I think the idea of trying to be a follow-up, even in the mannerisms of the actors, was a mistake. I
am as surprised as you are that I don't think Margot Kidder is the best one. I just don't know who it is. But I don't think she's the best one.
The new one, she's supposed to be very good, so that this may change when I see it.
I read a review that said that her performance is very Courtney Cox.
I don't know what that means. So okay.
They say that when you watch the movie, you feel like you're watching Courtney Cox playing Lois Lane. Because she so seems to be channeling. I've seen
Courtney Cox in different things. So.
Yeah, she so seems. That's the review I read, and I was like, interesting.
I need more than just that to tell me what that means. You might as well say that she's channeling. I don't know, Sandra Dee. She's channeling Sophia Loren. Like, what are we talking about?
Oh, there you go.
So I don't know what that means. So
I want to see the new movie. I'm excited to see the new movie.
Of course.
And
No, everything. The reviews I've seen, all the complaints are minor league outside of the psychopaths who think that Superman is super white man who would, blow Trump in a heartbeat. Okay, those people, they're never going to be happy until that's what's happening. So, tell you what, have Trump bankroll Dean Cain making something where he just happens to go down on a portly orange-haired gentleman who is slathered in tan oil. And you'll have that version of Superman, and they'll all be thrilled. And plus, go punch everybody who has mildly brown to black skin. There you go. There's your new show. That'll make them happy. Anything short of that is woke garbage. So let's go ahead and throw those people in the fucking chum bucket that they belong in and kick them into the ocean so that Jaws will eat them. Done. Outside of those wackadoo fucking lunatics, the normal people with rational brains who aren't psychopaths have only minor complaints, but they have almost universally said, this is the quintessential Superman who is trying to make sure no one dies. And I'm like, okay, I've heard enough. I don't care about the rest. That's it. Because I was talking to somebody about this, friend of the show, Ann Pruitt, actually had asked me what my favorite Superman was. He had asked me in a text form, and I said, no, I have to call you because I can't answer this in text form or we're going to be here for 3 hours. And I went through and did an entire inventory of Superman and what I liked about it. And one of the things I said is the best moment in Superman, period, is in the second movie when Ursa picks up the bus and he says, no, the people. I'm like, that's it. All you need is that. And if that is there, the rest is all details, and I don't care. That's what you have to have, is that moment. And from what I understand, there are multiple that moments in the new movie. And so I don't care what the rest of it is. It's fine. And apparently, Nicholas Hoult, they said, is excellent as Lex Luthor. Okay, good.
Oh,
it's even better.
All right, that guy is good in everything, though. I have never seen that guy be bad in anything.
Not as far as acting, but they said his Lex is good. They did a good Lex. So I'm like, okay, good. So they didn't redo the Man of Steel bullshit.
I kind of feel bad because who's the guy who did Lex Luthor in the Batman v Superman?
Batman 5 Superman stuff?
Yeah, like that actor is a good...
I know the actor.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg, right?
That's it.
That guy is a good actor. I just feel like that was so not the role for him.
Well, look...
and he just got destroyed by it.
I'm going to say the same thing we have said more than a few times at this point is I don't blame anyone in the acting side of those movies. That movie and the follow-up's failures were entirely the result of the person in charge hating Superman and or not getting it. That's it. It's that Zack Snyder is not interested in the noble, idealistic heroic version of superheroes. He is interested in defective gods.
Yeah, well, yes.
That's his fetish.
Oh man, that's a good phrase for it. Defective gods.
Well, I think he said something to that, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with the exploration of that.
I found an interesting
But Superman is not the way to do it.
Of the best Superman costumes, live action, right? And I want to share with you because they make some interesting picks. This is on slashfilm.com.
So, send me the link. I want to see these.
And I think that they're doing it from like worst to best. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing here.
Who wore it best?
Where's my button? There's the chat.
Shot things at the bottom. Towards
I know. I just had to find the word. The power word.
All right. I see it.
So they start with Tom Wellington's trench coat costume. That's Smallville. Okay, I hate this costume. It's not Superman at all.
All right. My initial quibble is I wouldn't call this a costume.
Yeah.
I call this a shirt.
Yeah.
It's a shirt.
So I'm going to leave it there. It's at the bottom. I never watch any of Kirk Allen's Superman stuff, but it does look Superman. You're seeing the picture, right, for Kirk Allen?
Yeah, Kirk Allen.
Yeah. Now after
I don't know that I've ever seen this person as Superman before. I've seen George Reeves. I don't even know this person.
Now the next one is Dean Cain's budget-friendly costume. I love that that's what they called it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just spandex.
Yeah. There's George Reeves. George Reeves is next, which is the kind of was the first real Superman costume people remember.
I mean, I will say for of the time, it gets the basics very right.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
Because the biggest thing that often gets screwed up is the S. Even what's his face, Dean Cain, that S is way too big. At least George Reeves, the S is not too small, which is what I would have expected at the time.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
It's right. Now, it's good.
The fact that Nick Cage's CGI Superman costume
that shouldn't even be
Dean
counted.
Cain, I mean, it just doesn't.
Well, and I'll tell you what the stupidity of this particular list is.
Yeah.
They should have just used his screen test image, which is cooler looking than this.
Well, I like some of the references.
Picture.
Like, they refer to Brandon and Ruth's costume as a legacy costume. You're right, because they were trying to channel Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, though. There's a problem with that, which is that they gave the coloration the dirty junkyard.
They made it the dirty red.
Evil
they
Superman.
made it the dirty. They made it the dirty red.
Why did they do that?
And the weird S's on the boots, which always confused me.
Yeah, I mean, I can let that go because you barely ever really see it.
But you know what?
I think he does have those sometimes in the comics. So.
But it gets beaten out by Brandon Ruth's Kingdom Come costume.
The Kingdom Come one. Oh, yeah, which is excellent.
Which is fantastic.
It is.
The fact that guy got to play Superman twice in two different a movie and a show, and got to play two different versions of him.
And he's arguably better in the show.
Oh, I love the way they did it too, because he played Ant-Man and the Kingdom Come Superman.
Yes.
So no, that was great.
Oh, there he is, Tyler Hoechlin. That's him.
I've never seen the black costume, but it's pretty badass. Do you know why was he wearing it?
So because he's mind controlled.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. This is how you know he's like this is the alternate Earth version, I think, and he fights himself.
It's a pretty badass costume.
No, that guy was really good.
Yeah, and then you got the new James Gunn costume, which you know what?
Yeah, I don't like all the lines.
Yeah, it feels
that's just modern stuff.
The lines make it feel a little too Power Ranger for me.
Yeah, but I get it. That's what they do.
And then there's Tyler Hoechlin's. Interesting. They feel it's a Zack Snyder inspired costume. I don't like the S.
No, it's the S. In fact, I don't think it's always that dark. I remember it being brighter and matching the cape. So I think they just took a bad picture.
I don't like the S. I don't like the shape of it.
I'm pretty sure in most of the show, I think he just been exploded or something, because I don't think it was always that dark. I think that's just the shot they picked.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? So the next two on this list are Henry Cavill's black suit and Henry Cavill's dark blue Superman. Honestly, the suit is so dark, it's almost black.
Yeah. But there again, that's only black suit because he just came back from the dead. So he's not really in that most of the time.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. And the thing is, if only they'd brighten the colors on Cavill, he would look so much better.
I know. Well,
and I actually do like the Cavill costume. I just
don't like
colors.
how dark it is. It looks like he's just sleeping in chimney ash.
Yeah, and then of course at the top of the list is Christopher Reeve's classic Superman costume.
Will always be number one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can't beat it. You can't beat him. You can't beat it. I mean, you just can't.
No, and even though you may get better special effects and better this and better that, that version of
It
Superman
doesn't
is
matter.
just there's something so honest about it and sweet
Well,
about it.
well, it's also him. You're right. It's also him because there you could easily come up with so many moments, not just the ones you and I have brought up, but others. Like the part where he's in the Fortress of Solitude after he gives up his powers and he's realized he made a terrible, like his like where he's breaking down and saying, I made the terrible
Oh,
mistake.
interesting.
Was it wrong for
Oh,
me to, it's so good.
listen to this. So the design of the person who designed the Christopher Reeves costume, I'm too close
Yeah.
to the mic. She said in an interview, "quote: It was important that the tights and the shorts wouldn't look like belly dancers. So the bumps and lumps were solved by wearing a plastic projection shield normally used by boxers. So basically, you had like a crotch shield.
Yeah.
I tried to make the costume appear as seamless as possible, trying to hide all the fastenings and stitchings where possible. So whereas the new suit's got all these lines all over it, the whole idea was she wanted the suit to look seamless. And it does. I
Yeah.
mean, it just looks like it's kind of poured on him. I mean,
It's great. It's
so
great.
I'm hopeful and excited to see the new movie.
I am not going to I'm not going to say that anybody can't ever do a version equal to Christopher Reeve, but boy, oh boy, is it going to be tough. Do I think that there are other people who can embody Superman that way? I'm sure there are. Will they ever get it right? I don't know.
I actually
Will
really
they ever
like,
get it that pure? I don't know.
I really like the costume he wore. I mean, it's a dumb book, but the book he did where it's Superman and he basically does it was a mini run they did where he starts the Authority back up to try and stop a reality kind of ending situation. And
Yeah.
it's an older age Superman who's apparently losing his powers.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why
yeah.
he needs
I know
the
what you're
team.
talking
And he has this costume it's like the Kingdom Come costume, except no underwear and short sleeves and no cape.
about. Yeah.
And I actually really like it. It's just different enough to show kind of an alternate nature of the character.
No, I think in the comics there have actually been several redesigns that have worked very well. In the movies, they've failed every time. But in the comics, I mean, I because the comics you don't have to worry about things like seams or anything else, so you can do pure design.
The best alteration of the Superman costume, in my opinion, that's been done, is Alex Ross's version, the Kingdom Come. That Kingdom Come costume to me is
Oh, it's stellar.
after the original. It to me is one of the best redesigns they did for the story that it was in. And I think so many people try to harken back to it, not realizing that it works because of where it is and where it's being used and the story it's being used. Like when he shows back up and he's got that symbol, it means that things have changed.
Tell that to your tailor. The old Superman never used black in his costume.
Yeah.
That's where he's like, I haven't changed. It's like, and then Batman says, "Tell that to your tailor." I don't remember black being part of your look before.
Yeah.
I remember that "tell that to your tailor" line. So when I read that, I was like, "Ooh, that's good writing."
Yeah, that's what I mean. When you talk about like visual storytelling, the second he shows up with that black in the S, you're like, "Uh-oh, something's gone wrong."
Which is weird too, because he's still normally that would seem to symbolize that he had moved past his no-kill rule, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting because
it's
then
a mourning.
Becomes,
if anything, it's
I
a
was
state
going to
of
say
mourning
it's
for
mourning
him.
for the world that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
For,
So I mean,
who killed the man of tomorrow? You did.
Yes.
All of you.
It's funny because my wife doesn't understand why Superman is kind of important to me, and I always try to explain to her as like, because Superman is this, he's essentially the Captain America of the DC universe, and that Captain America, the cinematic Captain America, right? Because the comics did it differently with him, but the cinematic Captain America was the good guy of the Marvel universe, right? And that's one of the reasons that people were so sad to see that character go, is because he was always this moral center. He did the right thing despite, but he was also incredibly physically capable to back it up. And that's what Superman is supposed to be. He's the moral center. He's the good guy. This shows that absolute power does not always corrupt. You can be good. And what's fascinating with the character is always the fact that he has to struggle with that balance to make sure that he doesn't go too far. That's why was it the Cory Doctorow story you haven't read yet? That's essentially a Superman story. It's so good because it shows the character struggling to deal with.
Which I've seen a lot of people saying to people who are like, "Oh, Superman's going to look like if you think so, you better read this Cory Doctorow story, and you're really going to melt down."
And the thing is, and I don't think he's woke at all in that story. I think he basically is just angry with corruption and the bureaucracy.
Everything is woke to people who want it all to be how they imagine it, is what I'm getting at. Of course it's not. None of it is. It's all nonsense. But these people have to construct some version of the world where something is 0.2% for anybody but them. So it must be corrupt or deep state or whatever the fuck imaginary boogeyman they come up with.
Did you see that they were blaming the floods in Texas on Democrats using weather guns? I was like, what?
Of course they have. No, they have to. They have to. There can't be anything that contradicts what they think.
You know what though? I like the it's missing the symbol, but I just found a cowboy Superman, and I mean one of these looks like gay porn, but the other one I actually really like this design. Hold on a second, I gotta copy this.
These are Superman costume redesigns?
No, I was curious if anybody ever did a. If anyone had ever done like a cowboy Superman or something like that, because they always do like different themes.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And I actually like this design because the other one I found, I'll send you that one too. That one looks like it's gay porn.
Sure.
Like.
Well, I mean,
there you
it's
go.
not hard to go.
Tell me that one doesn't just like. Hello, boys.
Whoa, boy. Those chaps, why don't they just cut a shape of a penis into the chap hole or whatever you want to call that?
That's funny.
Yeah, the interesting part is Supergirl has had way better and more frequent redesigns than Superman has in the comics.
Yeah,
just in general, I've often liked Supergirl's redesigns.
When they put pants on her, finally, that was pretty funny. I mean, she looked good.
Yeah, well, or now what they've done is even with the skirt, now she just has shorts on. That's just fine. She just has like when volleyball players have skirts and they have little athletic shorts underneath. They do that. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, making it so you're not doing upskirts every time she flies is probably a good idea.
Yes, that's probably good.
Of course, my sense of Superman is, of course, compromised because I'm still one of the champions of Superman Red and Blue. I think Superman Red and Blue are great.
I
like Electro Superman.
Oh, you know what? Man.
You forget about it?
No, it's not that. I was looking. So I was looking at Batman designs recently, like different symbols, and then I went and I was looking up Superman designs, and superherostuff.com. They I guess they've just rolled out all the Superman shit because there's a movie in theaters right now for him. Sure. And they have Electro Superman shirts. And
I've seen them. They're great.
I was like, holy shit! I was like, that is so long ago now at this point. I was like, the number of people that actually know what this is at this point is getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, that's part of the whole the 90s is back thing, I think, more than anything. I really think that's what's at the center of that is they're just bringing all the 90s stuff back now.
I was surprised.
Which is fine. I don't really care. But, yeah. Well, it's easy to do it. That's the nice part, too. It's an easy design to just put on a shirt because you just need the color and then that, symbol.
Yeah.
That's what makes Superman easy.
But I'll tell you what,
or Batman.
I will say I kind of like, man, I hate that I like it, but I actually do like Ben Affleck's Batman symbol. Like,
yeah, I don't mind it.
I really wish he got a better movie. It's kind of just sad that he never did.
I can say that about everybody in the Zack Snyder stuff.
No, because I think Wonder Woman had a pretty good movie. It was half good.
Okay, well, you just made my case for me.
I know.
It's half good.
It's not
good.
I know.
It's great until it shits its own pants.
Well, everything's great until it shits its own pants.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is, I feel bad for everybody because I think that somebody like... I just think if I don't have any problem with anybody involved with the Wonder Woman movie except that Zack Snyder was the overall architect of it. And I think he's probably the reason it was the way it was. And so I would be very interested what the same people, everybody except him, if it had just been made in isolation, which is what I say about a lot of comic book movies now, if it was just made in isolation to only serve the character in the film and not be part of something bigger, would it have been better? Yes, obviously, if it's a team movie, we're not going to make an X-Men movie that's only about one of them. You could do Weapon X. I would be interested in Weapon X. But otherwise, I don't need another Wolverine movie. I've seen enough of him in comics. I would like it to be ensemble. I'd like him to be tertiary. I don't even want him secondary. Tertiary. Put him down in the third row. He could just be in the back fuming and smoking. That's fine. I don't need to see him do much. You know, give somebody I just want to see them kind of start to detangle all this stuff. And I know they can't, and they're not going to. Until all this fails, when it all finally runs, which I think it's sort of getting there.
The Marvel movies?
Yeah, when all the superhero stuff goes on a break.
They made a Batman movie that was just Batman, and it was really fucking good.
And what have they done with it? They've relegated to other Elseworlds, right?
You know what? I don't care where they relegate it, as long as they give me more of it.
Well, that's where I'm like, are we really going? I don't know. I hope we just get a good second movie. I doubt we're going to get any more after that. I think at that point they're going to say, that's it. And they're going to stick with the mainline stuff.
Listen, unless they outlive James Gunn, unless, James Gunn fucks it all and they outlive that as well. And they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we just continue with this.
But that's what I'm getting at is I think it probably, 5-10 years from now, it'll have run its course and they're gonna take a hiatus on all this stuff. Kind of the Doctor Who thing. They're going to just take a break. You're not going to see stuff for a while. And then what I hope they do is just start doing...
Have they officially decided to go on break?
They haven't officially, but they said it's continuing in animated form, which is basically the same thing.
Oh, shit. So they said they're not filming anymore for a while.
They're not saying anything definitive, but based on the weird ending of the last series, which makes no sense.
To Rose Tyler.
Who's not listed as the Doctor. So it's like, well, what is that? What does this mean? Okay.
Yeah.
And now they're saying that Doctor is going to go on an animated form. I don't even know if they said that the guy's going to voice it. But regardless, I think that was also overdue. I think Doctor Who should not have been out every year. Most of these types of things probably should not be all that often.
They want everything pushed out so fast. I'm glad that Stranger Things has taken a while before putting out their last season.
Yeah.
Because they just want everything.
Good.
I want the next season out now. I want the next movie out now. And it's like, guys, there used to be years between this stuff.
And in the case of something like Stranger Things, I think that you could do something every year, but don't have it be the same characters. If you want to expand the universe and you think you have stories to tell, which of course is the requirement for all these things, and we know that's not really a requirement, but let's assume that it was in an alternate universe where somebody had a good story to tell, but they didn't want to just stick with the same characters because, that does become boring. Because either you have to make them start acting like they're not themselves, which happens a lot, or you get trapped within the character as established that what people liked, so you can't deviate too far, right? That's your two. The problem is you can only go in two directions with recurring characters.
So-and-so would never act like that.
You either have to do the same thing all the time. Yeah. Right. Or you have to, expose them to red kryptonite so that they turn into Bizarro or whatever, which can be fun, but you can't keep doing that because...
I read in the new Spider-Man, the new Superman movie, there is a section of the movie where Superman is in prison, and that section of the movie is largely carried by the Justice Trio.
Well, and that's because, as many people pointed out, James Gunn excels at writing ookie-dookie weird characters in a group.
Yeah.
And not Superman. So...
And,
he doesn't seem to really be interested as much in one person.
And I've read really good things about Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
So
I'm not surprised. He's good at he's good at like C-tier characters. That's clearly where his strength is.
Yeah. Isn't that a funny skill to have?
Well, it's not. It's not because you have more freedom with it. That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
When you're not, writing Mickey Mouse, you can't have Mickey Mouse have a psychotic break and destroy.
His Suicide Squad movie was good because it was a suicide movie. The whole
Yes, because
franchise
the
was
most
coming to an
well-known
end.
character was nobody to the average person.
Well, Harley Quinn was it at that point.
I don't even think most people.
Yeah.
They'll know the name, but they don't really care what her character is.
No, but people
as the
know
performance
her.
of the Harley Quinn movie would demonstrate.
She's become like a goth weirdo icon.
Yeah, but if you were to go ask the average person who saw the first one, well, what are the main characteristics that define her? They'd probably be like, well, she's in makeup, right? And she wears short pants.
The hair.
Know anything else?
It's the two-tone hair. They remember that. The two-tone hair.
She's in makeup and color. She's colorful.
Yeah.
She's like a female. They'll say she's a female Joker. That's what they'll say.
And she's a
so
duck.
You have freedom there. Yeah, because the character in those movies is not consistent at all. It's not. And that's what I'm saying is the reason that James Gunn wisely likes those smaller characters or the lesser knowns is because the DC overbosses are not going to care what you do with Polka Dot Man, but they are going to care if Batman suddenly, I don't know, only eats at Arby's on Thursdays. They're going to be like, well, that doesn't line up with our bigger universe plans because we have a tie-in with McDonald's to make these little McNuggets that have bat symbols on them, so you can't do that. Right? But nobody gives a fuck what Polka Dot Man is doing and whether he had a good relationship with his mother or not. You can't fuck with Batman's mother because the parents have to die, and we almost have to show it every goddamn movie at this point until somebody doesn't.
I still think the best... I think the best movie that Zack Snyder could have made was the one where Joker goes back in time and saves Batman's parents.
Yeah, sure.
And
Superman,
again,
they would never let that
Superman and
happen.
Batman go back in time, and Superman can't convince Batman to help him stop Joker from basically changing the timeline. I love that. That is I give credit to the author who came up with that conundrum where you're like, there they are, they've gone back in time. Joker is going to save Batman's parents so Batman never exists. And Superman's like, we have to stop him. And Batman's like, I can't. I just can't do it, man. Like, and it is, because it's like, yes, you're trying to save your timeline, but this is the thing that has defined you. And the fact that, I love that. And then he does save his parents, and it changes the timeline. And then, like, fucking Superman has to go back to the future and try to convince Bruce Wayne, who's fucking not anybody now, to help him because somehow he thinks that somehow deep down he's still Batman. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand how psychology works at all. No trauma, no Batman.
Yeah.
So I'm convinced of that. Honestly, you know what? Green Arrow is Batman without the trauma.
Well, yeah, without the particular trauma.
Yeah, because I was trying to explain to my kids who some of the classic DC heroes were the other day. And I was trying to explain Green Arrow. And I was like, yeah, Green Arrow is basically happy Batman with archery.
Pretty much, yeah, he's hippie Batman.
Yeah. And that's why when they did the CW show, because they couldn't get Batman, they were like, you know what? He's almost Batman. Let's just make him Batman and Arrow.
No, they absolutely just made him into Batman.
Yeah, he's Barrow.
Not even a doubt. He's Barrow.
But is it enjoyable? I've never really watched it.
No, I never liked Arrow because it was so clearly just
Batman.
We don't want to do Green Arrow because it's too hippy dippy, and we can't have Batman, so we're just going to blend them together in the worst whiskey blend you've ever had, and it was dull and joyless, and but on the other side, and that's exactly the reason why when Barry Allen showed up, everybody was thrilled because he was happy. He was like the happy guy. He was the fun Flash. And so when they brought him in, everybody immediately loved him. They picked a good actor for it too. That helps. But he was the opposite, where he was like, hey, what's happening, guys? How's it going? Oh, somebody got murdered, huh? I'll check into that for you. It's like, oh, okay. Wait a minute. Somebody who's not miserable the whole show. That's nice. And then the stuff that followed after got increasingly goofier and more fun. And that's what people actually wanted. But, in fairness, Arrow did bring all the rest of it along, so to some degree, and obviously there were people who connected with it.
I think I told you my mother started watching Arrow.
Well, yeah,
like
because
out of nowhere, she was like, "I'm watching this show with this guy, who does archery," and I think she even said he's kind of like he's kind of like Batman, and I'm like, "Are you watching Arrow?"
Yes.
Like, how the hell did you start watching? I mean, it is the last show I thought that my mother would randomly pick up to watch, and she did. She got like 1 or 2 seasons into it. It's very strange.
Well, because it is not it in the early days of Arrow, it was not as comic booky as it became later. So it would be easy for, like, I could see my mother watching it and being like, yeah, there's some silly parts to it, but I understand what's going on. It's not, and if I told her that's a comic book character, she would, really? Huh. I just thought he was really good at archery. Because early on, there isn't any of that. It is largely just him with a bow and arrow running around, but there's not all the stuff that came later. I think he's working with just like a CIA type of operation. So it's almost like JAG with arrows. You know?
Or like NCIS or one of those shows, yeah.
Sure, whatever. But that's what I mean, is it's not something that would repel the straights. So, yeah.
By straights, you mean the non-nerds, by the way.
Yeah.
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 Oh, good. Let them have cake.
Sure.
Are you, you're not going to
Did you have anything else, or was that it?
No, I was going to ask you, you're not going to see Superman in theaters, are you?
No, not in theaters. No, I don't see anything in theaters.
I'm like half tempted. Isn't that bad?
No.
I'm half tempted to go see it.
Go see it.
No, hold on. I'm half tempted to go see like a matinee, like when my kids are in school. Just like sneak out and go see it.
Yeah.
You know? Because my wife's not going to want to go see Superman. But like, I'm like, yeah, you know? I am curious. Thunderbolts I'll tell you what's annoying is that Thunderbolts came out for streaming, right? It's a fucking Disney movie. It's not on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And it's like $30 to buy and $25 to rent on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sure it will, but it's the whole, you sons of bitches, you fucking own this movie.
Well, yeah, but they want more money out of it. That's the thing.
I know. Well, that's what it is. But we want more money. Give us more money.
But also, I Superman, I'm sure, I just don't need to see anything in a theater because it's never, theater is never, ever going to be better than home for me anymore. It was pre-COVID, that was the truth. It's still the truth because I don't ever have to worry about anybody else. If I have to take a fucking potty break, I can. If I want to eat candy, I'm not going to pay $20. If I want water, I'm not going to pay $8. And I don't have to worry about walking out and not knowing what's on the bottom of my shoes. Like, there's so many reasons why.
The shoe mystery, that was always fun.
Yeah.
Where you're walking through
even
it,
if it's just butter. But, you know, I remember coming out once with it sure looked like it was some kind of gummy product. I hope. And that thing, I had to sit there and like dissolve it off because otherwise my shoe would stick. And I think that might have been the end of it for me. I was so annoyed. Not the people, not the prices. It was sticky shoes for a week.
Sticky shit.
Yep. I was like, I don't need this. I don't. Especially now with TVs the way they are and surround sound.
As huge as they are.
Unnecessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What's funny is
I also don't subscribe to the idea that a theater is the only way to see. No, it's not. Stop. Grow up.
No, I don't believe that at all.
If it is for you, that's fine. It's not for everybody.
No, the theater experience is not the only. It's just one way for you guys to make money on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's just, but it's come on. I will say the same thing I've said every time somebody says this to me. The only people I think that really applies to are people who never rewatch movies. For them, I guess it is. And there are those people. But I rewatch movies all the time. So if a movie can only work in a theater, I guess I'd never watch movies again. It's just a ludicrous statement to say, well, I mean, that's really the best experience. Then the movie is a failure. If the only way you can watch the movie and enjoy it is on a giant screen in a theater, then that movie's a failure from a storytelling perspective. I'm sorry, it's a failure. Because the best movies, in my opinion, are the ones that you can revisit and find new things on over and over and over. And if that could only happen if I owned a theater, then come on.
I think that a movie that's good is good on a phone or a screen or a giant TV or an IMAX screen, whatever. If you need the majesty of size to make your movie work, then there's something lacking in your movie. Because listen, Jurassic Park looks great on a big screen, but you know what? Jurassic Park is a good movie on a small TV as well.
Yeah, I do not think I could enjoy a movie on a phone, but if people do, that's fine. I'm not going to make somebody feel bad for it.
You haven't been in a situation where you can't. Your only option to see something is to see it like that. But if your only option in a specific situation was to watch something on your screen on
Well,
your
then I would,
phone,
then I would watch it that
you
way. I'm
would.
saying
And the
that,
thing is,
it's,
and I'll tell you, when something's good on your phone, you know it's really good because bad movies come out very quickly. Like you know something is shit when you watch it on your phone. At least for me, because I've tried to watch a few things like kind of like in between moments or something like that, or like when I have a half hour or an hour, I'm like, okay, well I can watch this here.
sure.
And there's a few things I've watched, and I've watched a few things and been like, this is so shit, and stop because it's almost like when you take the majesty away, then the movie just has to really be good. Like I watched Arcane season 2 on my phone before I ever watched it on the TV because that was the situation that I was in. And you know what? Arcane season 2 is some of the best TV I've ever watched. And that was on my fucking phone.
Right.
And I'm watching it now on the TV with my kids, and it's fucking amazing on the TV, but it was really fucking good on my phone. And I'm not saying we should watch these things on our phones. I hate that. But it's nice to have the convenience of a screen when I have only so much time. A little screen, you know what I mean? Sure. And I mean, this is why you want one of those. You would love it if your glasses could just turn into screens. Not a fucking headset, Apple, but your fucking glasses.
No, they do make them, but I'm waiting until I mean, probably in 1 or 2 generations, I will get a set of those. They do make them, but they're still a little. They're not headsets. They are actually glasses.
Yeah.
But they still are just a little too big, even as glasses. But they're close. They're really close now. I actually considered a set that's currently available. I'm like, I'll wait.
Yeah, so for me, I think that if you only have it's better to watch a movie. Because some people are like, oh, if you can't watch on the big screen, you shouldn't watch it all. Fuck you.
Yeah, well,
it's better to watch something any way you can.
Correct.
Than to not see it at all.
Yep, no, I'm with you.
I mean, will it be the ideal experience? No, but here's the thing. You know what? If you need the ideal experience for a movie to be good, then the movie's not good. I mean, an ideal experience is nice.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hey, you know what? Listen, sex is great in an ideal situation, but sometimes just getting sex anywhere at all in any way is great.
Sure.
You know, go talk to your high school self and be like, no, man, sex is only good if it's in bed with some candles and some mood music. And you're like, no. Because when you're horny enough that you're like, well, do it on the hood of the car in the parking lot. I'm
there.
And that's what a movie should be. A movie should be just as good in bed as it is on the hood of your car in the back of the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
So, man, what movies are good even on the small screen? That is an interesting thing to think about because that really is the test.
Comedies would be the easiest ones because they don't really require.
You know what? Honestly, I've seen a bunch of the Marvel movies, the early ones, and they're still good. Iron Man is still good on a phone as it is on a bigger screen. I do think that's a genuinely good movie. You know.
I guess so. Sure. I don't know if I'd say
on that
as
hill.
good.
I find it enjoyable.
No, I'm not saying it can't be. I'm not saying it can't be good. But you said as good on small as big, and I don't know that any movie with effects. It depends. Iron Man,
because I still like the movie.
Yeah.
I still like the movie, regardless. I think the thing is, if your movie depends on your effects, completely on your effects, and your effects break down on a small screen, well, then I think you're doing it wrong.
But you're saying in that you're saying two different things there because you said as good on a small screen as a big one. That's not the same as can't work. But that's like saying that. I don't know. Okay, that's like pizza, right? Oh. I can make pizza with $4 ingredients, and it's good. But if I get fresh mozzarella and it's better.
No, because it's not. I'm going to stick with your pizza analogy here.
Yeah, good.
It's not the pizza that's bad. It's your ability to absorb it that's bad. So it's like saying having fake teeth is going to make it a bad pizza. As opposed to eating it with like real, healthy teeth. That's more so what it is because it's not the movie that's changed; it's your input that's changed. So it goes back. If a movie is good, it's just as good on the small screen as it is on the big screen. If it really is a good movie, then it should be good no matter what.
Okay.
I believe that. So
I believe you believe that.
we clearly have different lifestyles, is what it is.
No, well, what you're saying you're saying something different than what I'm saying. You said as good on one thing as the other, and I think that's a different question than is it good? You can have something that works, but it can work better in one environment than the other. It doesn't mean it's a failure in the other.
No. Listen, I this goes back to the sex thing. I would much rather have sex in an ideal environment.
Well, okay, so I'm saying we're in agreement. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Iron Man on a phone.
Iron Man is better.
Iron Man on a phone. So
yeah,
I don't
Iron
really
Man
know,
is
but I'm
better
sure it's
on a
fine.
TV. But if you want to see a movie and you have no opportunity, and your only opportunity is to watch it on a small screen, then it's the whole. So what's the best camera? The one that's in your pocket.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You know?
What I'm saying is that as far as something that on a big screen would be no different for me than on a small screen is something like Dodgeball, the comedy. Right? There's nothing that's really gained in the larger format of Dodgeball.
Fine.
It's the jokes are what matter. So on a small screen, on literally your watch, Dodgeball is still
really falls
because
you know what really falls apart on a phone. I'll tell you, the prequels. Those movies lose so much on a small screen. It's amazing.
Well, because you know what? Because your eye sees the defects so much more. For some reason, I really don't know why.
You can kind of. I think what it is when you're watching a movie on a big screen, you have to look around practically to get it all in.
Yeah, you can't.
Whereas on a small screen,
you can't drink it all in. Yeah,
you've got this overview where you're like, I could see it all at once here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's that you can see the defects in one compressed box, and on the screen, as you said, you go. Your mind kind of fills in that the stuff around what you're focusing on is not as bad because it's smudgy.
I'll admit, when you and I started watching movies on the computer for this whole thing of ours, I made sure I brought in the larger screen so I could have a more sort of enjoyable movie experience. If you can, it's nice.
Yeah.
But if something is, like I said, if the only way to absorb it is through your phone, it's better to absorb it than not to absorb it at all.
No, and in that I agree, is that if your story depends on the format, it's a failure. Yeah. Which is my point about theaters. So yes, if the story is good,
you don't need theaters. Theaters are nice. Sometimes.
If the story and a movie is good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but it depends what you want out of it. Some people really want to be in a theater. That's fine.
Well, some people like the social experience of seeing a movie on the opening night.
Well, for some people, I think it's not even the social part. I think there are people who really, and I understand this. I think there are people who, and probably because they went with like family, parents, that was a bonding thing. So just the theater itself is like a church for them. It's like it's got that kind of physical space connection.
Yeah.
Where even if it's an empty theater, they're in a theater because you do feel the size of it. It is different that way. And also, and this is absolutely the case for some people. It's not for me, but I know people who will say, well, if I watch it at home, I'll pick up my phone. I'll start to fidget. And I'm like, yeah, I can't understand that. But I get what you're saying because I don't do that. I watch a movie at home. That phone can be beeping all the whole time. And I'm going to be like, I don't care. I'm watching this movie.
Oh, my God.
You could go crazy.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with my mother about this because she noticed some people pulling out phones at a table when we were sitting there. Yeah. And I don't do that. Like, unless I'm specifically looking something up, and she was complaining about it.
If somebody asks me a question and I can't remember, I will say, let me look it up. But other than that, no.
But at home, it's like, we have kind of a no phone policy at the table. But but you look around. I mean, how often do you look around and you see couples not talking to each other, just looking at their
That's
phone?
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's not me. So
and the thing is, when I watch,
who say at home I do that, and in theater I won't. I'm like,
no. And when I watch a movie at home, if I'm gonna watch something, I sit down and I just fucking watch it.
Yeah,
I do not, and I found of late that if I'm not in the mood to watch something, I actually warned my wife. I'm like, hey, listen, I was like, I'm not in the mood to watch anything tonight, so if you want to watch something, I'm gonna half watch it. And it's like, it's my warning that I may just wander off, but most of the time it's like we put it, I want to give it my full attention.
I agree.
So,
but like I said, I think for some people there is a thing about being in the theater where they don't feel that impulse. I'm like, okay, well, if that's...
I've never been to one of these high-end ones, like what is it?
Oh, I have. I've been to, I mean, I haven't actually been to an Alamo, but I've been to one like that.
Where it's
They
like
actually
no
have one
kids and
nearby that's a Godzilla one they're
and-
building, and I probably will go to that one because
It's
it's
a
all
Godzilla
Godzilla themed. So
theater?
that it's a 2-story Godzilla theater. Yes.
What is a Godzilla
And it's I
theater?
think
Is it shaped like
well
Godzilla?
no. Well, sort not shaped like it, but like he's on the outside. They have all the theming is for his stuff. Hold on, I'll send it to you.
Really?
Alamo's doing it. Yeah, Alamo.
Are they only going to show
Draft House.
Godzilla movies?
At first, yes.
Weird.
Yeah. Where is it? Here it is. Alamo Draft House Cross Godzilla. I think there's all right here. It reveals Godzilla themed theater and experiences. It'll be in Santa Clara, which is not far. So far, I can't drive. Dubbed Alamo, blah blah blah. The collaboration. Okay. Official Godzilla. Well, this is the stuff, but you know, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a normal theater, but at first, their schedule is just Godzilla movies. It's the one in Santa Clara. Here it is. Where is the actual schedule? I'm trying, because actually I looked and I'm like, okay, I don't need to go for the first ones because they're not the Godzilla movies I really care about. But like if they do Destroy All Monsters or when they do like the new ones, I might go to see those because, you know, that's going to be Godzilla people, you know, and I'm okay with that. So.
Go.
But I've been to ones where it's like the really nice recliner and, you know,
Yeah.
like leather seating and all that stuff. But again, it's nice, but it's not like the thing that I would probably want to go to was if they did something where, let's say they recreated like a 50s drive-in with like the waiters on skates and the outside screen and, you know, and they're playing 50s movie, like Day the Earth Stood Still type shit. I'd probably go to that because that's a fun idea to me. But outside of that, modern theaters are all kind of the same.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing about them that is that there is not a magnitude of improvement the way there was when you and I were young and were watching stuff on small TVs on VHS. The difference in a theater is tangible. It's all better.
Oh,
You get
yeah.
better
the TVs.
sound, better.
But when you were home, when we were young, the TVs were kind of shit by comparison.
That's what I'm saying.
Whereas
is they
today,
were-
the TVs are so fucking state of the art. They're practically
Yeah.
better sometimes.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about the difference is you either want the social experience or for some people, I think it is a nostalgia thing. They want the feeling of being in a theater because maybe some of their formative years, maybe they had sex in the theater to your point about sex and they want, you know, they want to go back to that theater, man, because
that's one thing I never did because
Me
I
either.
usually wanted to see the movie.
yes, I didn't want to be looking over somebody's shoulder at a movie and then get slapped. So it was a bad idea. And the hand job popcorn bucket thing I always thought was fucking gross. So no.
Like in the popcorn?
You never heard that where they cut the hole in the popcorn bucket and they get a hand job in a theater?
Yeah, I've heard of that, but the popcorn's not in the bucket, right?
Well, man, I've heard some weird stories. That's all I'm going to say. So I don't know. That was always gross to me, even in concept, even with an empty bucket. I'm just like, no, we could just go home. Fortunately, it never became a pressing issue for me.
Unless it's a porn theater, you know, leave it just for watching movies.
I would never go to a porn theater because I don't want to hear what some other people's sound
I'm aware,
effects are.
but what I'm saying to you is, unless you're in a porn theater where that behavior is kind of expected, you know.
Yeah, I suppose. But, yeah.
So
anyway, before we get to our movie,
yeah,
I wanted to review Iron Angels 3 because I did complete the trilogy.
Oh, you watched it?
Oh yes, I did watch it. In fact, there was the night where you had to drive somewhere is when I watched it because I'm
good.
okay, I have 90 minutes. I'm going to watch Iron Angels 3, and man, I am now 2 for 2 on box sets that I've bought without knowing what they're going to be. That's the whole trilogy. There's apparently it's trilogy. There is supposedly an unofficial fourth one, but everything I've read said this is not really. This is one of those things where they tried to draft off of it. It's not at all connected. I'm not even going to bother. It doesn't sound good from any respect. And I don't think any of the original actors are even in it. I think one like background character shows up and that's the connection. Like, I don't care that much. You know, whatever. But these movies are dynamite beginning to end. We will eventually watch all 3 of these movies. It will happen.
I don't know, man. You have such a huge list of movies for us to watch.
Oh,
I don't know if we're gonna get to them all. But they sound good. There's movies you review where I'm like, I don't need to see that. But there's movies you review where I'm genuinely like, oh, you know what? Like, I can't believe I haven't seen that. And this is one of those movies where like, it's quite good from the sounds of it.
These movies, I think you would have a great time with, beginning to end, because there's so much about them that's just a riot. And they all do different things better. So honestly, I don't even know which one I could pick as the best one. Because each of them, they maintain the same fundamental core while still changing their shape enough that they're not repeating each other.
Yeah.
So the first movie was establishing this, this MI team, which was the Angels. And that's really what it was about. And it had this excellent, sadistic female villain. And I'm always a sucker for dangerous women. And she was great. And she was wacky and over the top. So they had a great female villain with this team of wacky adventurers, or whatever you want to call them, special agents. And that was the thing they were establishing, was here's the template. Then the second movie was, this time it's personal, where one of the Angels had a friend who was secretly trying to have a communist revolution. And they lost some of the Angels, but the story, because it had the personal element, was different and interesting, and it had the kind of classic freeze frame ending, which will dovetail nicely with our movie review later. The freeze frame ending, which is, I told you, of this era, they all do them. But that one was kind of, okay, this is a little bit more of a storytelling thing with one particular character, but the others were there. And then in the third one is fucking batshit crazy, because technically, it's about Muammar Gaddafi trying to destabilize the rest of the world by having kamikaze assassins who have both bombs wired to their bodies, but also magic cyanide plant-based teeth, going around murdering heads of state and important people.
So if they bite you, is that what it is?
No, to kill themselves, so that you can't get any information from them.
I was so hoping that they had like cyanide bites or something like that.
No, it's better than cyanide. It's a plant-based thing that's more deadly than cyanide. So if you capture them and you start to question them, they bite the tooth, they kill themselves. But their goal is to blow themselves up on top of whoever. Until the end, at which point the body count in this third movie I probably exceeds every action film of Western design I've ever seen, meaning an Arnold, Stallone.
Are they not good at their job?
There's just so many of them. Not the Angels, the other soldiers. So what happens is this movie, so Gaddafi is nominally in charge. I'm not even sure if the actor is supposed to be Gaddafi, because it doesn't look anything like him, or if he works for him, but he just shows up and like he's always beating the leader of another country for some reason who works for him. I was never clear on what was going on with that character. I think they just wanted to name check Gaddafi because people would know who that is at this time. He was like the Saddam Hussein of this era was Gaddafi.
Yeah,
so they just used it. But the real villain is, again, a psycho, dangerous woman, although this one is Caucasian. This woman, by the way, had a fascinating side story. Just the actress. Did 2 movies and then became, I think, a feminist playwright in Britain who leads kind of like a poetry collective. She just did these 2. I mean, she's jacked in this movie.
Oh, wait a minute. What's her name?
Hold on. I don't remember.
I think I've heard of this woman.
You may have. What's her name? Her name is Katie Hickman. The character's name is The Blonde. That's her name. That's the name of the thing. But she only did 2. She did a movie and 1 episode of television, and then became the head of this. It's called like Dog Ears or something. Is the group like the? If you look up Katie Hickman poet, I believe you'll get, or playwright. No, playwright, not poet. I think playwright comes up with it. Here she is. English novelist, historian, travel writer. Is this her? I want to make sure this is the right. No, this is a different Katie Hickman. Sorry, there's 2 Katie Hickmans. I knew that was going to happen. She's with the Y, not with the IE. Hold on, let me find her. And I think you have to do playwright to find her. Here we go. Let's see.
What was
Here
the
she
movie
is.
again?
Educator, playwright, Iron Angels 3.
Iron
so
Angels,
here, I'm going to send
Angels.
you this is the woman. I'll send you this. This is her
No, I'll find
actual, there she is. So this woman.
Oh, yeah. I'm vaguely aware of this. I don't know why.
Yeah, she's
I'm
done
vaguely
plays
aware of
and
this.
stuff. Dog Ear. Dogear.org is the group she's part of.
Okay.
And she did one movie where she's the villain, and she's great. She's just great. She has a little tiny baby alligator. That's her pet. She shows up at the end of this movie in an outfit that I honestly thought I would dream about. Because I was just like, wow, this is the total thing. Like, this is the 80s Superwoman thing, except villainy. Like, she's holding a giant shotgun. She's got the big sunglasses. It's amazing. Can I find an image of this? Oh my God, there she is.
Is it the red and black one?
Yes, with that machine gun. And,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I see her.
She is excellent. And they give her several kind of fights. She's like a knife master.
Are her fight sequences good?
Yes. I think that it's her in most of them. But she's great. And so the problem with the third movie is the only originals left are Alex and Moon. Now, Moon Lee is spectacular. Like, she's in every movie. She's clearly, I think, as far as I can tell, she appears to be the most talented of all of them. And man, the stunts she does boggle the mind. But yeah, look at this woman's collar in this picture I sent you. Like, that's her first appearance with the little alligator on her arm, and she's just petting this thing.
Oh yeah, she's
that
like a
does not want to be
Vampirella
petted.
collar.
Oh, I really didn't know what the hell to make of her at first. But like, there's a part where she's spinning a knife and you see her arms. I'm like, oh no, this woman is ripped. Not like bodybuilder ripped, but you can see the toning. Like, she's in shape.
No,
So I'm pretty sure she did do most of her stuff.
Let's get physical.
Yes, and that's the thing is, they didn't go for and the first one, the actress is also in good shape, but also not like bodybuilder, because that is not as appealing to me. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying that I like a woman who looks like she can throw you through a wall without being.
We both have different interests in different things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's fine. This is not me saying anything wrong. No kink shaming on this show.
Everybody. Is it a kink? Really? Is that what we? Interesting.
Well, okay. Anything that elicits a response.
I think
is what I'm saying. Is have whatever you want.
All shapes and form can be very attractive.
That's fine. Yes, that's fine. So, but this particular type of look appeals to me greatly. Let's phrase it like that.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So.
I support you in all your endeavors.
I appreciate that. So, like I said, the problem is that you lost Elaine, who I really like. This is kind of, you remember when I reviewed the Andy Sidaris movies, I said the three that I really like are with the two blondes who look like they're having a lot
well,
of
that's
fun.
the thing. If you have a series and you have a team, but different people come and go, and
Yes.
You're at the end. You're at the end of the life of this.
Right. And so they still have the great fight scenes, lots of great explosions, lots of great stunts. So I'm not saying this is bad, but I miss Elaine being the kind of fun one of the female. I would have preferred it if they dropped Alex and kept the two female leads, because Moon is very serious and clearly the most talented. And then Elaine is still a competent fighter and everything, but she's using more of the kind of, all right, I've got sex appeal, I can disarm people. Like, they would make a good duo. Whereas Alex and Moon, they're both very straightforward. And then they've got Karina, who was the woman who came in late in the last film, but they barely do anything with her. She only really shows up a little bit at the beginning and then at the end, so they don't utilize her. Then they bring in a new guy, and honestly, he's a perfectly fine fighter, but zero charisma, nothing really special in the...
He's just kind of there.
Yeah, he's just kind of there, and they try to make him into almost like a Pauly Shore type wisecracking character. It's fine. It doesn't really work all the time. And then with Karina being sidelined, again, it's like, okay, really, it's Alex and Moon, who are dynamite stunt performers. I mean, they're doing stunts, and you can see them, so they are taking all these chances themselves. This is one of the strengths of the movies, all of them, is they're doing the stuff. And it just goes, it's insanity. Because literally at the end fight, they had to have killed upwards of 300 soldiers. Because it ends up that the Angels are among two warring armies. Literally, almost armies. Where there's a van that opens up and all these guys pour out. And they just keep coming out and they keep getting shot. And more keep coming out from where we don't even know.
Is it like a clown car? Or?
It almost is. I mean, they're not always coming out of the container that they came in, but they just keep in the house. They just show up. 15 guys run through a doorway. It's like that thing in The Matrix, the second Matrix movie, where they're just pouring through the door, except they're all not the same person. But it almost becomes Naked Gun level satire in how many people just keep showing up, because you're sitting here going, where are they coming from? On both sides. And they're both just mowing each other down mercilessly. I mean, it is a marvel to see it. That's why, for sure, we're watching the third one, just for that. But all the movies have elements of this where you're just like, holy shit, I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like this in different ways. And that's why there is no best one. Each one has its strengths. They all have great action, great stunt work, both martial arts and lots of gunfighting. That's present in all of them. It's the story that varies. It's the character roster that varies.
Yeah.
And so certain elements may appeal more to certain people. Some people will probably think the second one is the best one, and some people, I've seen people say this, because it is the kind of betrayal of one of the Angels by somebody for reasons that aren't that you can fathom to some degree. You understand character's not just a mustache twirling maniac, as the one in the first one, and definitely the last one with Gaddafi. They absolutely are just caricatures of villains. Well, it's like, what the fuck is Gaddafi doing here? He's just blowing people up because he wants to destabilize the globe? To what end? And as far as I could ever discern, the only real reason was, I want people to be scared that I'm a lunatic. Well, I think they already are. They already thought Gaddafi was off his rocker before this movie came out. I mean, it was not like I've ever heard that Gaddafi was a reasonable, intelligent, well, I don't know, maybe he was intelligent. He never seemed like a stable individual from what I know of him. So I think your reputation was secure, buddy. I don't know that setting up literal, and they call them kamikazes.
They just wanted a bad guy. You know that.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm being completely objective, they made the right decision in minimizing the Gaddafi whatever and making the woman the real villain, because she is 8,000 times more interesting than just a Gaddafi lookalike would have been, like in the movie with the Boris Yeltsin stand-in. Like, that's not interesting.
Yeah, but Yeltsin's not the
Gaddafi,
bad guy in that. He's just kind of a bumbling official.
No, what I'm saying is, thankfully that movie didn't make Yeltsin like get into the car with them and be the bumbling, I don't know what I'm doing type for comedy effect, which is almost what I feel like they were doing with the Gaddafi guy in this, where he's just so ruthlessly maniacal that you just almost laugh at him, whereas the woman is like deadly serious. And she's great, but also silly because of the outfit she's wearing. But she's great and helps make the movie. So like I said, this box set, which you can't even buy anymore, it's sold out already. So obviously I'm not the only one who likes these movies.
Okay.
It is. In fact, I'm curious. What is it going for on eBay right now? Let's see. I'll bet you it's on there. Because I went to look for it. I was like, wow, I wonder if this is still in whatever. And no, it's gone. Iron Angels Vinegar Syndrome. Let's see. What is it going for? $140 starting. Yeah. I got it for $35. Oh, here it is. This is a numbered one, which is what I have. $200.
Jesus
$300.
Christ. Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because it's a numbered box, which I don't care about. I actually thought about, I'll buy a regular version, I'll sell it.
We talked about this, yeah.
Yeah. And I can't even buy a regular one. If they ever do, I'll buy that and I'll sell my numbered set. What the fuck do I care about a number? But like I said,
you just want the movie.
I just want the movie because that's what's important. Yeah. And like I said, I'm 2 for 2 now, which is unfortunately going to encourage me to do this again. But whatever.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if you get burned once, it's.
I could sell it.
Yeah,
I could sell
especially if you end up getting a numbered one. Yes, you can.
and I always
keep
do.
looking.
I always get the numbered one
Because
for this
in this
reason.
situation,
If it sucks,
if you fail, you make more money selling it, and if you succeed,
ironically,
then
yes.
you get the thing. You get a new movie that you love.
As crazy as that sounds, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
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 Good.
But however, I don't know how you would see them now. That's the problem. This is what I also don't like is, as far as I can tell, let me see. Is it possible to actually watch this in streaming? And usually these make their way to Tubi. The Vinegar Syndrome stuff does. So I hope it does. Because they're really good if you like this stuff. And not even, if you could put up with a bad movie type of thing. No, they're just legitimately well made. They're just, I think, unknown because I don't know that any of these people, like Moon Lee, who's so good. Now, did she do other stuff? I really hope so. Oh yeah. Oh geez, yeah. She did 44 films, so clearly she became known. Okay, yeah. So she did stuff. I'm trying to see if there's anything more high profile than these that I know of. No, but I mean, she worked, so that's good because she's really good. Fatal Termination, Mission of Justice. These are great titles.
Fatal Termination. That's a good one. But I mean,
Fatal Termination. Wow. That's from 1990.
That's like these. That's these titles. You hear it and you're like, wait a minute. Like,
oh, is that? The Mortal Kombat guy's in that one too. The guy who was in Black Cat 2. Huh.
Fatal Termination. Okay.
Wow. Some of the screenshots of this look. Wow. Well, it's probably good for me. I don't know if it's necessarily well made, but
well, keep your eye out for other trilogies. I mean, if they make a trilogy of stuff and you read the right reviews about it, then maybe
yeah,
it is your thing.
Yeah,
maybe you get lucky again.
But like I said, I would recommend any of these movies. I think that all three are equally good in different ways. So a rare case where the third movie I think is every bit as good in the important ways as the first one. You may connect with one of the three more or less than others, but I would not call any of these of really seriously lesser quality than any of the rest. And I think that's the important part is, okay, you may like the story of one better than three or vice versa, but it's not like some other movies where the sequel, suddenly they had a quarter of the budget and most of the people aren't doing anything, so.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Art Angels 3, great.
I think it's so funny that I haven't seen these.
Yeah, because
they feel like something that I would have encountered. Because, I mean, they were, what year were they made again?
87, 88, and 89.
Yeah,
they made a year apart.
I should have seen these.
I have a hunch that the market was saturated with this stuff.
I feel like a lesser person because I missed these.
Don't worry. We will get to them. So they will. I just have to rip them because there is no version of these anywhere else that I can find. So I'm going to have to tear them and I'm going to have to get the subtitles from somewhere. Or I'll have to use a converter. But I will make the effort because I think they're all worth seeing. So that's not what we watched for this week. No. We watched something wildly different.
Thanks for killing my mom. Yeah, no problem.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice,
The juice! Give me the juice! I walk out of these movie reviews that we do, and my wife usually gets like the tail end, right? And sometimes I come out, I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then sometimes I come out and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I came out and I was desperately trying to explain to her how great that line was. And she's just looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, man, it's the juice. Just give me the juice.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice,
The juice, man. Yeah.
The juice,
The juice and the hair and the hair thong is probably fucking the two funniest things about this goddamn movie we watched.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Explain how we ended up where we ended up.
I stumbled across this movie a while ago. I think because it was on a list of. I think I was looking up Frankenstein movies or something like that, and they were like, "Well, if you want something off the beaten path," and there was lists of movies. One of them was Flesh for Frankenstein, the Warhol movie. But on one of these lists was Frankenstein 80, ironically made in 1972. And it is a Italian-made, very Italian-made film, which is a reinterpretation of the Frankenstein story. Chiefly meaning that there is a scientist named Otto Frankenstein who creates a monster who he names Mosaic in an effort to.
I like that
something.
too. That they let it change enough. You know.
Yes.
So the monster is named Mosaic because
now let me read. Let me read the 5 first keywords that come up for this film before we delve into our review. Number 1, murder of a nude woman. Okay. Number 2, female nudity. Number 3, murder. Number 4, psychotronic film. Number 5, race car, which I think is hysterical. Yeah, race car.
Oh,
yeah, race car. Right. So
there is nudity in this. Yeah, explain. Explain how we ended up though, because this was a random pick from your.
Yeah. So what I did was instead of picking or trying to decide on a movie or letting you do it, I thought the easiest way to do this was there are websites where you can create this randomized wheel to pick things from. You put your entries in and you spin the wheel and it will select something at random. And so I put a list of, I think, about 15 movies on here.
Which is fun. I like that.
Very fun. And it just makes it where you really don't know what you're going to get. So I put 15 movies on there, most of which I have not seen before, including one which you would think by now I should have seen because it's a landmark film, but whatever. I just haven't seen it. And I went, okay, I'm going to let Lando spin the wheel. And whatever it comes up with, and I put the witch from Mystics of Bali in the center to spin around, which is its own disturbing thing.
That was the creepiest part, watching her face spin really fast, or it was almost like there was a kaleidoscope of her mouth.
Yeah, my wife said, "Oh, get the laugh in there," and at first I thought I could because I do have the sound effect of her laugh, of course, from our previous review. But unfortunately, and just as a reminder for everyone else who hear it. That would have been great to actually have come up when we got to, but whatever, I got an evil laugh. And so the wheel spun and it landed on Frankenstein 80. Which, like I said, I've had this movie on the list to watch for a while, but I read nothing about it. I went purely on the list that I got it from initially, which really didn't say anything much about it. Just said, oh, this is a bizarre Italian take on the Frankenstein story. I went, okay, I'm in, especially because of the time frame. But I really didn't know if it was actually good or if it was going to be a movie that I would like and you would be bored to death in. I was like, this could be a piece of shit for everybody but me. Because there have been those movies.
Have I been bored to death on anything that we've watched? I don't think so.
No, but we've had movies that have dull parts where we were like, okay,
listen. The worst movie that we've ever watched is still my fault.
Of course. Drawing Restraint Number 9.
Drawing Restraint Number 9.
That is true.
That is my fault. I brought that to the table, and I feel sorry for my sins. It was a bad movie. Bad, like you're sitting there going, "What the fuck is even going on here?" Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure if this would actually be really just bad. I thought it could be a movie where I was just but I didn't know, because I haven't seen it. So I'm like, is this a movie where I'm desperately going to be trying to find something? Because I've had those movies I reviewed, and I'm like, this is the best thing about it. Yeah, where you're trying to figure out most people shouldn't watch this.
Yeah, what's worth it about it? Yeah.
Yes, it's that I just didn't know. So this was a real. I know nothing. Never heard anything even good or bad about it. I don't know. Most of the reviews, it is generally seen as shitty. I don't think it's that bad compared to some things I've watched.
I don't think it's shitty. That's funny. I don't think this is a shitty movie. I think that it is it is done on a budget in the 70s, and there are very specific choices made, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a bad movie. I was actually quite entertained by this. And some of the writing is quite amusing. I mean, listen, there's a few things. I mean, I know this movie's not meant to be funny, but there's a few scenes in this movie that, like, you can't help. You can't tell me that the person who wrote it wasn't like, that's a funny line. When that fucking guy goes, give me the juice, man. I mean, like,
yeah, the dubbing is often what does make these movies funnier than they are meant to be.
Yeah, and honestly, I really like the fashion sense of this movie. I mean, the main hero guy dressed like horribly most of the time, but like, you know, you're saying you like watching Miami Vice sometimes because Miami Vice is like, there's this vibes the way everybody is. You know,
oh yeah,
I got the sense with this movie is that there were times where I'm watching, I'm like, oh man, I was like, everybody looks so jazzy. I mean, we saw that one guy that I think at the same time and when we were watching it, we were like, oh my god, it's Perfect Tommy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With the red jacket, the red actual blazer jacket or whatever, and the rest of it was kind of normal.
There's some.
But that's a thing in the review I keep talking about. I'm like, man, there's all this dullness, and then there's one huge pop of color, either on a person or on a piece of fur. It seems like it had to have been intentional, because you'll be in a room and the room is all kind of a dull beige, but then there'll be a coat rack that is like ultra neon red.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? Or a person walks in, like the niece of Frankenstein, in a room where everybody's wearing browns and grays and like blues, and she's got super ultra high like beams teal on, and you're just sitting there going, that's not accidental. What does this mean? And then the main monster is dressed as a leather shadow. It's great because, you know,
there are very specific choices, and I use that phrase because it can be both good and bad. But there are definitely specific choices. I don't feel like this movie happened at all. This movie was all choices. They wanted things to be the way they were, and by and large, it is an entertaining movie. I had a good time watching this.
Yeah.
You know, is it a good movie? I don't know if it's a good movie, but I definitely had fun watching this movie. You know, there are things that I will remember that I will take with me about this movie. Yeah.
So as far as the movie itself, as far as describing what it is,
you do this better. Yeah,
it is essentially a medical doctor named Otto Frankenstein who is clandestinely building or operating on. I don't think this monster was meant to have been put together entirely the way the monster traditionally is.
Yeah, you get the sense that he got a dead body and then brought it back to life.
Yeah, he does talk about replacing the fingers so that the fingerprints couldn't be identified on murder weapons. But he's really concerned with replacing or stopping the degradation of the brain. The one testicle is a feature for some reason. We don't really ever
and the thing is, he's very angry that the monster keeps looking for hookers. And
some people have said this is
he keeps fixing.
He's
his
a serial rapist, and I don't know I don't know how true that. I mean, he is a rapist, but I don't think it's because I think it's because he doesn't know how to control his impulses.
He does try to pay at one point. I mean,
yeah, and the woman he pays is consensual.
Okay with it till she sees him naked.
Yeah, until he takes his hat off. Or sorry, takes his coat off.
No. When she sees him naked, that's when she freaks out.
Which is weird because I think his head is worse looking than his body.
Yeah.
And as far as we know, he has a fully... I mean, you do briefly see his penis. He's got one. And I don't think it...
I never saw his penis.
It's for 1 second. I keep an eye out for this stuff because I'm like, all right, if there's a lot of female nudity in Italian films, I'm always curious how much we see of males. Oh, no, it's for 1 second. You barely see it.
I never caught the penis shot.
I know. When I saw him standing, as soon as I see a guy standing with nothing on, I'm looking to see if they're trying to cover it up or if they don't care.
That's
and
funny.
In the movie, I think they don't care, but you just never see it. But you see it for one brief second. I'm like, okay, no, because that was the other thing. I'm like, well, does he not have a penis? Is this why he's doing this? Because he's frustrated? No, he's got one.
No, the problem is he's created a monster, and the monster gets has no impulse control. So
Right.
he gets excited, and then he wants to just go and take what he wants to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's really what is going on, as opposed to if the women were willing, I don't think he'd be choking them and killing them. I think their terror at his appearance is what's driving or part of what's driving his rage. Now, I don't know. Look, I'm not trying to justify rape. That's not what I'm doing here. But
yeah,
I think some people have boiled it down to, oh, he's just a monster rapist. I'm like, they were, because they talk about the fact that actually Frankenstein is the real monster for making this being.
Yeah.
And not the monster. So there's a point late in the film where they're all sitting there and the reporter says...
And then it goes on to kill, like, how many people?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, I think it is not a smoothly held together narrative. I think that's a fair criticism. Because I don't think the intentions and the motives are clear. The monster at times seems sympathetic and in pain, and then other times seems like he's perfectly fine and just a rage monster.
Yeah.
And that just depends on the scene. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is a secretly, tightly woven tale of misunderstanding and regret. It's not that.
I don't want to derail you. I was just looking at a website trying to find trivia for this movie.
Oh,
and
good.
I saw no. This popped up as an ad, and I have to share it with you because it's one of the most out of sync thing I've seen in a while.
Bruce, I'll be your father.
Yeah.
What the
How random
fuck?
is that shit? Yeah, so I was trying to find some. They have ads running on the sides of these sites.
Yeah.
And there was an ad, and it's for this fucking T-shirt. It's a silhouette of Darth Vader and Batman. And it says, Bruce, I'll be your father. How fucking weird is that shit?
That's bizarre.
Yeah, apparently they're targeted ad work, or I almost call it ad work. Jesus. Their ad network feels that I need that in my life. Anyway, yes, the monster's out of control. And the doctor is the monster because he has created this monster, and he's trying not to let him go, but the science is more important. So he's trying to figure out a way to get the monster under control, but he's also not destroying the monster. I mean, he's letting the damn thing go and do things. So it's he's the monster of the situation. And then once the doctor's gone, they can't get the monster. So they kind of sit there and go, well, his body will. I do like they get into this idea of the body rejecting organs. Which is kind of like a neat science. So they said that eventually the monster will die eventually because it will reject its own brain.
Yeah.
But as that's happening, it just goes, fuck, I'm gonna kill everybody. Well,
and that's part of it. Is there's a part where they say, oh, in 48 hours his brain will melt, right? And we see him right around that point kind of having these brutal headaches, and he's struggling, and he's kind of like stumbling. But then, for the majority of the end, he's perfectly fine. He's just walking around, and that's what I mean about it's not the most well put together thing, but
no.
I also don't agree with people who are like, oh, it's just monster porn, or it's just like sleaze porn. I'm like, no, I've seen that's New York Ripper.
Listen, I'll be honest with you.
Porn.
The nudity in this movie is actually handled quite like
better than you think.
Other than the monster, there is a monster rape scene in this movie, and I was very confused by it because she's very nice and she's a prostitute. She brings him back to her place, and she's all ready to go for it. She brings him back by hand, right? He pays her for it, and then she freaks out when she sees him, and then he freaks out, and then he proceeds to rape and murder her. That's terrible. Yeah. But it's confusing because up until that moment, it's the whole, no means no, even if you're about to go. So that's fine. But it's just a very weird scene, the way it's done.
Okay.
But beyond that sequence, the nudity is it's kind of handled in a weird, like the 70s nudity is not, I don't know. It's not, I feel like it's more sleazy today. like they don't really care. And maybe it's because I'm just not very prudish, but it's like, yes, they're not afraid to show everything to some extent, but they're also not. They're not doing some like weird, like sweaty close-ups and shit like that. Like it's weird. It's almost matter of fact. Like that. There's a scene in there where she puts she comes out in her pajamas and they're very obviously see-through.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And you're like, okay, did we need this? But then she just gets in bed and it's like this, like she's like that for moments. And
as I told you on the commentary, I say this is not the first movie of this time period I have seen with this exact thing where somebody's wearing this. I don't know. I will just be honest. I don't know if in Italy in the early 70s,
I don't think that's a thing.
Buxom women just went to bed in extraordinarily sheer garments.
I don't think so.
Because it was fun. I think it's a movie. I know that I know other cultures have different approaches and mores in terms of nudity. So what do I know? I'm just saying.
But I don't think
I've
that
seen
the
this
nudity.
enough times.
I don't think that it's. I don't think it's a mean nudity. Like I mean,
it's not lurid.
Like,
it's not just.
But the thing is, he does kill. He does kill several women in this. He kills one woman to steal her liver, or attempt to, which is a weird, a vaguely absurd scene.
He steals a chicken's liver. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
It's far too small of a liver for a body.
And then at one point, he
body.
kills an exotic dancer who has an impressive pubic hair situation.
Yes, the moment that stunned us both was when we could not work out how she was wearing a thong that only had a front piece, and then realized that there was no front piece.
It wasn't a front piece.
It was not.
It was the 70s. That's what it was.
It was just so
very funny.
Present that it overwhelmed our ability to factor what we were seeing.
Yeah, so and then he kills her, and at that point, like he also kills a guy. He kills multiple people,
yes.
And when he kills the woman, he is attracted to her, and he kind of lingers. But I think that's why the whole end part of the movie for me is the weakest when he goes on the murder spree, because a lot of the rest of the movie has its own kind of weird sense, whereas that part makes no sense because he doesn't seem as broken as they are presenting him to be.
Well,
I mean, he hides in the bathroom and he kills the guy. He hides in the woman's like dressing room. Like there is some functional thinking going on.
Yeah, well, no, he has a brain that does work on a rudimentary level because he tries to talk and he can't.
Yeah.
He can use tools. He understands clothing. He understands the mechanics of things. So, he is clearly, I think he's supposed to almost be a child. Childlike or very, just past toddler stage, like where he's got basic understanding. When people say words to him, he appears to know what they're saying for the most part.
Well, he brought money. He brought money to the prostitute.
He stole money from the doctor. He understood that that the money was necessary for this woman. So he understands at least prostitution to some degree. But there's a thing that there's a part where the doctor says, I'm doing another gonad replacement because I'm not satisfied with the sexual potency of the monster. And so I think the idea is supposed to be that he's overdriven and doesn't understand what's going on, but he's got like literally savage testosterone running through him. So again, this isn't to say rape is okay if you're, being experimented on. That's not what I'm saying.
But
he is supposed to be a tragic figure to some degree.
What it says is the bigger monster is the doctor who's setting him up and then kind of letting this guy get away.
Yes. Because this is if you look at this clinically, if you took a person who has a very
no self-control,
and not even full understanding of what permission and consent may be.
Yeah.
And you overdrive them in a certain way, this is the likely outcome if somebody doesn't step in to stop him. And he can't be stopped because he's a brute. He is far more powerful than the woman he's assaulting. So, yeah, I don't. If the doctor had come in the room and said, stop, I don't know that he wouldn't have stopped. But there's no one there. So he's basically doing what this doctor has, for all intents and purposes, made him to do. And I think that's where the movie is clumsy and it doesn't handle that well, because I think there is an interesting kind of criticism of what drugs can do to you if the doctor doesn't really care, but just wants to see what an experiment's result is. I mean, there have been things like this done if you wanted to do an actual critique of why ethics in medicine matters.
Yeah.
But this movie clearly is not reaching for that goal. It's trying to do a kind of sensationalist Frankenstein tale. But it does, at one point, speak about, well, the monster is the doctor from making this human being. Because they say, well, he's a creature. And he's like, no, he's not a creature. He's a person that this doctor has fucked up. And it's the one moment where the movie stops and actually tries to say, well, think about this. You're made to think that he is monstrous, but in fact, he's acting as in the only way he really can because of what's been done to him.
And that is monstrous, but he's not the doctor is the bigger monster.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. He is not acting with an understanding of the damage he's doing. And that is because of the doctors.
But he's still doing damage.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
No, he still has to be stopped. But the idea of reducing him, kind of like in the original movie where Frankenstein is only seen as a monster, but he's actually very kind to the young girl who shows him kindness. But everyone else sees him as this abomination to be destroyed.
And they don't ever have that in this movie.
That's what's missing.
Yeah.
That's what the part that's missing. And I don't know whether they just didn't care. But if they didn't care, then why have the scene where the reporter tries to stand up for the monster to some degree? That indicates somebody involved had some mindset of this idea. If that scene didn't exist, it would be easier to write the movie as a whole off as, well, they just wanted to have some women being nude and being assaulted by a monster. And, they just threw the Frankenstein thing on there for shits and giggles. But that scene does exist. And it indicates some degree of mature thinking. So I can't entirely condemn the movie like some people do as sleazy trash. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's elegantly made. I don't think they made their point correctly.
I don't think it's weird. I don't outright think it's a sleazy movie. I don't.
Oh, I don't either. I'm just saying as far as trying to convey that part of the story, they didn't do it well.
No.
That part is the biggest failing is if you don't, because let's take ourselves as not the standard viewer, right? Ordinary person watches this, assuming they even finish it, which I would guess most standard moviegoers would not. If you didn't get to that scene, if you only saw 30 minutes of this, I could understand somebody saying, this is just sleazy trash and I'm not watching it. There's
it's
no
a monster
value
movie.
to this.
At that point, it's a monster movie.
Actually,
what's really interesting? He's almost like a Jack the Ripper early on in the movie.
Absolutely. He's dressed like Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, he's dressed like Jack the Ripper. He shows up. He cuts them up with surgical tools. I mean, there is a... And I hadn't thought about it earlier, but there is a very strong Jack the Ripper vibe early on in the movie.
Yeah.
It's almost like, what if Jack the Ripper had actually been a monster? Like a Frankenstein-type monster. It's interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I did enjoy it. I thought it was an interesting flick, weirdly.
Yeah, I do think that it's in the public domain, so you can watch it almost everywhere. There is a Blu-ray of it out. It does have a commentary by a film historian. I don't know her name off the top of my head, but it makes me curious what that would be like.
Yeah, like what is the historian going to say?
Yeah, because it's a fairly new release, so this would be a modern... This is not like a film historian of the time evaluating. This is like a modern one. So I would be curious what her view on this would be. I genuinely am kind of curious to the point where I might get it just to hear that, because
just so she can give you the juice.
Give me I'm sorry, I didn't have it ready. So I can listen and say,
just give me the essence of the thing, the juice,
Yeah, the juice,
I'll tell you the other funny thing I love about movies from this era. They allowed men to just be kind of shitty, like not shitty in like they're like people, but like. Now it's like you get everyone in a movie has to look like the best version of something, unless they specifically don't for a reason.
Yeah.
In this movie, you had all these guys that were like, they weren't heavy, but they were like, they're kind of slightly out of shape, and they got balding, and they got bad hair, and like it's
they're 20% disheveled.
Yeah, or more.
or more, depending. But I mean, even the best one is 20% disheveled.
Yeah, so it's like I kind of like that look of it, that people are allowed to be
Yeah, they
almost
look like
more
real
human.
people.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're allowed to be like real people. Yeah. So
I mean,
enjoy this. Yeah.
It's I think it's worth seeing for people who enjoy this type of thing.
I think it's worth seeing with friends. I'm gonna put it in that category.
Sure.
I don't.
Sure.
I wouldn't. I don't want to watch this one on my own, but I think it's totally worth watching with friends. So you have people to sit there and go, "What the fuck did he just do?" It's like it's a movie you want like friendly banter to.
I would have no problem watching this alone. So if I've reviewed movies,
you and I are different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you've heard me review movies that I watched myself and went, "Oh yeah, those are okay," you'll enjoy this. However, I do agree that for most people, this would probably be better enjoyed with a couple of drinks and a couple of people who are.
I didn't even think about that. Some alcohol would make this movie way better.
Or whatever it is that's your thing, would probably make the movie more amusing. But on its own, it is a fascinating era interpretation of the Frankenstein idea.
Yeah.
It has merit in enough ways.
And they do work on it. Like, the thing is, this isn't just a TNA movie. I've seen plenty of TNA horror movies, and really, you're there. There's a veneer of horror. They're like, oh my god, reasons to take our clothes off and be murdered, right? This doesn't feel like that. Is there nudity? Yes, but it's not. You're not there.
But not even a lot of it.
No, but you're not
even
there
an
for
excessive
that.
amount.
Like, that's the other thing, is that it's present, but it's not. It's not the whole point of the movie.
Again, my comparison point for that is the New York Ripper, which you and I will never watch because I have no desire to revisit that. It was so undeniably cruel to women that I don't want to watch it again. But it is now my kind of guidepost where if somebody says, well, this is sleazy horror, I'm like, well, is it worse than the New York Ripper? Then it's not that bad. Because the New York Ripper has a woman who is cut from crotch to neck with a broken bottle that goes on for a while. That is probably, in terms of brutalizing women, the worst thing I've seen.
What this movie could use is some editing. Some tighter editing would actually probably do this movie some justice. Because there are some scenes they linger on where I'm like, I got what you're doing. We can move on. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a few like that.
Yes, there's definitely repeated shots of Day for Night at the end where they're driving almost in circles.
Oh,
and
I know. And the thing is,
circles.
it does become like a comedy after a while.
If you know to look for it and you're playing, because they do change the dialogue, but if you look at the background, they're driving in the same places over and over and over. So yes, that is something that if you're somebody who pays attention to stuff in movies, you'll pick up and go, aha, I see. At one point in the commentary, you'll hear me say, they drove by this before. This is the same shot. Because it is literally, and even somebody who's not paying attention is going to say, isn't that where they were before? Because it's the exact same shot. The Day for Night is obnoxiously badly done, which is a blue tint, which is the kind of traditional way to do it. But for me, I would have, if I was going to try to improve this and go back in time, I'd say, take 5 minutes explaining what the doctor actually intends to happen as a final result, or what he's aiming for, and try to make the monster slightly more sympathetic in terms of making it more explicit that he's not being a rapist for fun. Because I think it is at times tough to tell.
He gets angry at him. You know, he says, if you don't stop this, he's like, I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah, but I think that the idea that is because it's going to expose him, not because he cares what he's doing.
Oh, see, that
was my impression.
I thought it was because he
because more people were becoming suspicious.
Wrong. I think it's because I thought it was because he thought it was wrong, but then
he
was weighing it against his own science.
No, because he was murdering people with no reluctance whatsoever as soon as they found out.
Yes, you are correct.
The
No,
doctor,
you're right.
the doctor
Yeah,
was killing people left
you're
and right.
right.
So
Yeah.
I think his problem was
And he
people
cut
are
the he
starting to
cut the head
fucking
off.
notice.
And he cut the head
Yeah.
off so that nobody would realize that was him.
Yeah. Now,
No, you're right.
is
You
it
are
possible the
correct.
doctor realized if he didn't get this under control that maybe his niece would be in the crosshairs? Sure, that's possible. But I don't think that was his main motivation. I think his main motivation is I don't want people to know what I'm doing till I do whatever I want to do here or finish it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think he was pissed off about. And that is good if you explore it properly. But again, it's very clunky when that's happening because even you didn't necessarily make that immediate connection.
No.
Whereas I'm like, well, if the doctor is killing people and storing their heads in fridges, he does not have a lot of morality here. So I think his fear is this thing is getting out of control. And he doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about anything except whatever his work is. But I'm not really even clear what his
But they're
end goal
not
was.
sure what the fuck his point was. Yeah.
Yes. So that's one of the problems. And the other is I think the monster, it should have been clearer if this was in fact what they were trying to do, which I hope it was that the monster was essentially childlike and did not understand,
Yeah. I
did
mean,
not
he never
see the resistance
he
of the
never-
woman as a lack of consent, but instead is the woman's just not letting me do what she wanted me to do. Why? No. You said yes. You said yes
never
before, which is a
explained
child's
his-
rationale.
His agency, whether his agency and his
Correct.
decision making, there should have been more of an
Yes.
explanation for it.
Right.
'Cause
And
then you
that's
would have been like,
the failings of the movie.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's enjoyable because it is at times bafflingly fun. Where you're just like, I'm not quite sure what's supposed to be happening here and why this
what?
scene suddenly changed.
What's going on?
There were one or two points where I'm like, okay, are they in the same building? Oh, yes, they are. Okay. It took me a minute to figure out where everybody was. And then there's the intern who comes in and the reporter's regaling him with stuff. And the intern's like, oh, God, just kill me. And then that character just vanishes because I thought that was going to be a comic relief thing. And he shows up in two scenes to look miserable, that this guy is just rambling. And then he just disappears from the movie. Again, not uncommon for this time frame. I'm not, like I said multiple times in the commentary, if you see it, where I'm like, yep, this is an Italian film, all right. Yep, oh, yep, I've seen this before, because it is. And the freeze frame thing is a classic. It just ends on a freeze frame.
That end. Well, no, it ends on Juice getting his cigarette, man.
Yeah, he finally
So he
gets
wasn't gonna
and I
smoke?
said, I said, is he ever going to light this cigar? Is it ever going to happen?
Yeah,
It does.
and the movie ends with him getting his cigarette, which he had swore off until he solved the crime.
But as a reference back to another movie we reviewed, right before that happens, he says to the reporter, you're a better cop than we are, echoing the band of sex workers who have to do the cops' jobs because they're better at it. This is another thing about Italian films. The cops suck. They always are garbage in these movies, which I don't know if that's supposed to be a commentary, but it happens enough that it doesn't feel accidental.
Yeah, there isn't cop
Including-
worship at all. Like, if anything, they
No.
don't seem to be getting the job done.
And I've talked about in like a lot of the better Argento films, which are considered some of the best of the Giallo stuff, it's almost never a cop who's the lead. It's usually a musician or it's a reporter or a writer. The cops are never the leads. It's really specific. So I don't know if in Italy in the 70s and 80s, people hated cops or something because it doesn't feel coincidental. It feels intentional. And it's not even just, well, the cops are too busy to deal with this. No, the cops are fucking inept and are baffled. Like the Juice guy was great. Captain Juice.
And I like Captain Juice, but it's funny that the reporter comes in and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, he'll figure it out. Like they basically deputize him right away. Well,
and that's my point is Captain Juice seems like he's got a brain, but he's surrounded by bumbling fools. The one guy comes in and says, and he's like, who typed this piece of shit? And he's like, well, I did. He's like, that was a rhetorical question. I knew you did, you dumbass. Get the fuck out of here. So everybody around him is stupid. It is, again, it's got to be intentional.
Yes.
I don't know where it comes from, but it happens too often in these movies to be an accident. So, the one movie with the woman from Farscape, the cop almost didn't care what was happening. So again, didn't do much. The sex worker crime force, again, the cops sucked.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I've seen way more where this happens. So again, it's I don't know if there is a thing. I guess I have to look up. Is there a reason so many Italian films of the 70s and 80s made cops out to be bumbling morons? Because it happens a lot.
Maybe they just it's kind of like now where it's like, don't trust the cops.
I just don't know that I ever really picked up on it till this movie where I'm like, yet again.
Yeah.
There's an Italian flick where cops are basically useless. And they're almost all useless. They're driving in fucking circles. But
yeah, they literally are. And they have no idea what the damn thing is. Yeah.
Yes.
That's funny.
It's amazing. But like I said, it's in the public domain, so you can watch it anywhere for free. YouTube. I mean, it's
I think you said it best. Watch it with a friend or two. Get a few drinks, and enjoy it.
Yeah, you can download it from archive, so you can send it to your friends.
Yeah,
that's what I did. And we watched the English dubbed version, which I would say is probably what you want to watch.
It was a lot of fun with the English dubbing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Oh yeah, the juice, man. That one's gonna. It's funny you pick up things from movies and like certain things stay with you and certain things don't. You know. Yeah. The juice thing is gonna stay with me because I've said that.
Well,
I've said that a few times now to people randomly who have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Where I'm like, just give me the juice.
let me tell you something. Actually, before I say that,
200 hours later.
If nothing else, this movie watching series has so far delivered 3 lines that you will likely never forget. Number 1.
You shut the fuck up!
Number 2.
Thanks for killing my mom.
Hey, no problem.
And now...
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice, you know.
Just give me the juice!
I mean, if for no other reason, this has had complete value.
Just give me the juice, man. Just give me the juice.
Just give me the juice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's perfect too, because it's like, you sum it up. You sum it up to just give me the summation of it. Give me the juice.
Give me the juice. Like, and this is one thing too about these movies, in particular the really Italian and Spanish films of the 70s and 80s of this type, because so many of them were shot without sound, but they intended to release them in America. You often get this kind of dubbing where I don't know that the original Italian is give me the essence, give me the juice. It's probably more of the Italian version of just cut to the point, or just give me the actual important news. But the person reading it, it was probably literally in a booth somewhere where there's a guy on the other side of the glass, an Italian guy who doesn't speak good English. And the actor is like, well, what's the line? I don't know what this... There's a bunch of scribble on here. He's like, just give me the
just straight it for me. I like juice.
Give me the juice. Yeah. And he's like, that's what you want me to say? Yeah, that's it.
Man,
just say
just
it.
give me the juice.
I got 20 minutes till lunch. Just say it. All right, I'll say it. And they didn't care because it doesn't matter. And that's where some of the magic of these movies is. It's the combination of things. So... maybe if the story had been told more seriously and thoughtfully, maybe it wouldn't be as good if the rest of the production was shoddy. Because, I don't know, sometimes the magic is in the jumbling of ill-fitting pieces that are not so bad that you hate it, but are also at no point at a level of quality where you're like, wow, how do people not... This is a secret, Godfather film. And that's very entertaining for the right crowd, which in this case... we were 2 of them.
It was us. Yeah.
And in my case, would have been just me. I would have had a blast with this movie on my own. I would have regaled this movie's story with lots of heavy commentary on the color choices, on the blonde actress who's reminds me of what is her name? Jesus Christ, I still can't remember her name. This is so stupid because I know there's a V in it. What is it? Candyman. What was the original?
Virginia Madsen.
Hold on. That's it. I knew there was a V.
Go. Sorry. It's just fucking came to me.
I thought it would by now. Yeah. So, and the staggering blue eyes of the main character, who I still think they probably cast.
Yeah. Like his face doesn't move, but his eyes are like hypnotic.
I would not be shocked if they cast him because so many of the other actors, except for the woman, have brown eyes. You know, and so they wanted somebody who would just stick out. Well, yeah, because again, the use of color is so weird and specific that I could see them even saying, "Well, we want him dressed in brown."
And they got a movie historian to do commentary for this,
right? In fact, let me look.
That does seem strange. Like it matters more than it does.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. So here it is, Frankenstein 80. The historian's name is Heather. His film historian, Heather Drain. Let's see. Let's see. Well, she's done some stuff with Star Trek. Movies in the Mind, Gatekeeping and Demanding Change. She talked about Return of the Living Dead. Interesting. So apparently she's done commentaries on stuff like this. So, okay, so this seems like...
You know what?
Okay.
This sounds like someone you should have a late night with.
I'm thinking you're right. Here she is. Her website is called... Oh, no, I thought this was her website. It's not. But she's done commentaries. So I think her specialty seems to be these types of movies. Yeah. So I think this is what she likes looking into, and which is awesome. So yeah, if there's a way for me to talk to this person, I'm just trying to see if she actually has a website. And so far, I'm not finding one. But she has appeared on other commentaries. She's been on some other, the Flesh Trilogy box set from Vinegar Syndrome. She does
so she has
commentary on that. So she does.
She
this
has
type
an analysis. It'd be interesting. Yeah. I am curious to see what the analysis of this movie is.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could see if she had a friggin' website.
Probably on Facebook. Everybody is, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, writer-contributor Heather Drain. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look up and see if I can find a site for her or something like that. Oh, wait. Well, she was on Twitter. I don't know if she still is, as many people have abandoned that. So that may not be accurate anymore. Let's see. Okay, she has a Patreon, so hold on. Creating film music and esoterica writing. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's her. It's definitely her. Oh, yeah. She does this type of stuff. So she does these types of movies. A tribute to David Lynch. Well, that's a good sign. Anything else we've talked about? Let's see. I'm just looking to see. Wow, yeah, she's done a lot of stuff here. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. I've heard that's good. Legitimately good. No, I have. I think it's supposed to be like a Japanese Evil Dead.
It's a great title.
Yeah. Oh, she talks about Gigi Allen. Oh, yeah, she's into punk rock stuff. Okay. Yeah. The fear paradigm and why horror is a vital genre. Yeah, this sounds like my kind of person. Vamps, Scamps, and Tramps. Awesome.
Well,
Vampiros, Sexos. Oh, I've heard about that too.
You have an email to write.
Yeah, I have a goal here. I must see if I can get this person on our show. But yeah, I would be curious what she has to say about it, because she clearly has experience talking about these movies, which is better. If this was somebody I'd never heard of or that did nothing, I'd be like, okay, they knew somebody and they basically called this person a film historian just so they can have a commentary.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain just went back to the Jack the Ripper thing. It's like they started off with Jack the Ripper and then they went into the monster.
It would be interesting to know what the origins of the film are, and I don't find.
I wonder if this woman has any more information. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can find out.
Joe's on the job.
I'm on the case, everybody. But yeah, so Frankenstein 80. I would put that in the thumbs up column of our film reviewing so far.
I would say watch it with a friend.
Yeah, if you're like me. Watch it however you want. If you're like Lando,
like me,
watch it with a friend.
Watch it with a friend.
Yeah.
But do watch it.
Yeah, I do think it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
And there's entertainment to be had in different ways. I'll say it like that. So.
Oh, God. I mean, if nothing else, just start walking around going, give me the juice! Give me the juice! Fucking guy's awesome.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice, you know.
The juice, you know. God, I can make that
I mean,
just a ringtone.
in the
I should have
dubbing,
done a
even
ringtone.
the dubbing sounds like the way they talk in like, oh God, what is it? The like Cowboy Bebop dubbing,
Yeah.
or what was the other show with the thief, Lupin the Third.
Yeah, Lupin the Third.
Yeah, like it's that kind of it's that kind of dubbing.
Yeah. No, it's this is what I mean. This era has this type of thing. Sometimes it is really bad, but other times my hunch, just from the movie itself, is the people doing the dubbing were trying to do good dubbing, but probably had bad scripts.
Oh yeah,
that were badly translated. Because it's not like it's awful. Because there are ones we've watched where the voiceover is terrible. It's just bad. Or the acting is bad. But, in this case, I don't think it's that. I think it's that they probably got somebody who did a lousy Italian to English translation or whatever the original language is.
Well, there wasn't Google Translate at that point either.
No, there certainly wasn't.
Yeah, you actually had to find someone to do a good translation, which is hard.
Or literally there's handwritten scribbles in a booth.
And to try and fit it to the mouth as well. That's even harder.
That's another thing about this movie where I actually kind of want to rewatch it and do some lip reading, because there's parts where they seem to be saying English and then it goes into something else. And so it may be a Cynthia Rothrock type of thing.
I'm telling you right now, the daughter who you thought, I think at one point we were watching, you said, no, it looks like she is not speaking English.
Well, I think you have to remember too, just like you were talking about with Spanish, there may be sentences they're saying in English, and then because it's a common phrase, right? So I don't know, I don't remember. So she may be saying things in English, and then switching over, because
what was the
she can't speak it.
Did they film this in Italian?
Well, anything of this era was filmed with no sound, so probably the English actors were speaking in English words, and the Italians were and they don't worry about it. All you have to do, they tell them, here's what your character is saying generally. Here's how we need you to act, but we'll be dubbing it later. So don't worry about whether you're actually saying what's on the page. That's what they told Cynthia Rothrock, literally, who said, I can't speak this. And it doesn't matter. Just speak gibberish. As long as this is what you're doing. So look angry and just say things until I make this motion. And she would just say nothingness. She would just make up sounds. So she's not speaking either English or Chinese or Mandarin. She's just saying gobbledygook and forming weird words, because they just needed it to be like, he'd point at her, she'd talk until he held his hand up and she'd stop, look angry, point, say something, stop, look confused, point, say something, stop, look angry again. That's what they did. So who knows what was going on, especially a movie like this that was not exactly high budget. I doubt I'm sure there wasn't a dialogue coach on set going, no, you need to,
no, there wasn't.
You need to really enunciate the second part of this word when you're saying it, because we need to deliver the emotion. You're like, just look like somebody shocked you with a cattle prod and yell. Whatever you want. We'll fix it later in post. And that's what they do. Because unless this was highly unusual, these were almost never shot with any audio captured. So they really don't care as long as the rhythm of the scene is correct. So even if the person, and there's been cases like this, where you watch a movie and a person appears to be saying 2 or 3 sentences, and then the subtitles show 3 words. So it's like, and the thing says, okay then. Well, wait a minute. There's no way that's all they said. You know what I mean? It happens. Yeah. So,
I agree.
But that's where today, the sad part is today we'd have behind the scenes footage of this and we could see it. At this time, none of that's happening.
Of course not.
None of it. See, I mean, in many cases with these movies, you have people worked on it that have conflicting stories of how some of the most well-known and well-loved scenes of movies happen, because there is no documentation, there's no video, there's nothing even written down. Yeah. And so you'll have 2 people arguing over who wrote a classic line and whether it was even written that way or whether the actor came up with it. So, the Rutger Hauer thing where,
Oh, I don't think there's any question. I think everyone has said he wrote it.
No, right, but
yeah.
If there was somebody who said, no, he didn't, you have nothing to really back that. You know what I mean? There's no behind the scenes until modern time. yes, everybody agrees on that one because, I think everybody loved Rutger Hauer and he was really good in the role. So it was easy. But if that was a troubled production, right? A little tougher to say because there's nothing like The Lord of the Rings. You have no doubt what anybody was doing behind that because, Jesus Christ, there's almost more footage of the making of it than the fucking movies, which is fine. But it's like, you have no doubt where those swords were made. Like, when to made them because they're showing you the guys crafting them in the fucking workshop. Whereas, where did they get the testicle they used in Frankenstein 80? Oh, geez, I think they actually went out and they went to a farm where they were castrating sheep and he just got a sheep testicle. Another guy says, oh, no, that was from a local mortuary. They just had some from embalming a body and we asked if we could have them. Oh, nobody's going to remember. So that's kind of the fun, though. There's some of the mystery of crafting in your head because you don't know.
It was enjoyable.
It was a good time. So hey, we
on
talked
that
about it
note,
for like
then.
40 fucking minutes. So obviously it couldn't have been that, it's a
I
fun
enjoyed
time.
it. Well, there you
And
go.
on that note, everybody, we have delivered the essence, the juice of Frankenstein 80.
Giving you the juice.
So if anybody says, hey, have you ever heard a review of this movie? Your response can be...
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice,
And point them right here, and we'll take care of it. So if that's what you choose to do with your weekend, have a good time with it. If you can find Iron Angels, any of the first three, watch them. Either way, we have given you plenty of stuff to entertain yourself with. So I will do one final reminder in case anybody cares. All these commentaries are going up only on Patreon in the free tier, but I'm not even bothering with YouTube because especially with the amount of nudity in this one, I blurred the nudity in the Arcana Galaxy one. I'm not going to with this one. If it's in public domain, I'm not even going to bother. You're going to see it all, man. I'm not blurring shit. So I don't even have to degrade this one if it's in public domain, do I? Now, You know what? I'm still going to do it because I still think you should go watch this in its pure form without us talking over it. So go watch it. I'm going to keep it degraded. You'll hear us talk about it. But then if this looks at all interesting, go watch it in its original form because, man, those colors are going to pop. But plus, I do think that there is a spirit of this film that can only be enjoyed when you see it in its most pristine fashion. And there are many ways to see it that way. So our commentary will be on one that's a little bit desaturated and with some scratches, and the sound is going to be low because you want to hear us or not, but you're going to. But go watch this the way it's intended to be watched. Give it the respect it actually does deserve. On that note, whatever you choose to do with your weekend, have a good time doing it, and we will talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.